pregame activities already underway on the field, so we'll bring that to you now. The PA announcer is Steve Patterson. We're pleased to be with you for the action tonight. This is Jeff Root, along with me, Caleb Bird and Jack Bennington. We've got some folks back in Gosnell who are watching tonight. Pleased with that. And, of course, the home crowd, very many of them have turned out here on a cold night at Badger Stadium in Arkadelphia. Also a few folks from around the country, old Badger fans watching, Badger alumni, Arkadelphia High School alumni watching the game tonight on the live stream, and also on KDEL FM 100.9 in Arkadelphia. Well, let's talk about Gosnell for a minute, guys. First of all, this is a team that at one time was 1-2 in conference play, but they've won 4 straight games, an exciting overtime 13-7 win at Brooklyn, then a 46-8 win at Highland, a third consecutive road win at Pocahontas, a shutout 23-0, and then last week at home, a big 41-6 win over Jonesboro Westside, and that Westside team was one that had high expectations. And so, Caleb, this is a hot Pirate team coming into Arkadelphia tonight.
Yeah, I think Gosnell's a team that's a lot like Arkadelphia, and like they played their tougher games at the beginning of the season with some easier ones to fish it out. But Highland, a team that very typically is at the top of that Northeast Arkansas Conference, they put 40 points up on Highland, beat them pretty handily, and then a big win over Westside. Westside is ranked in the top 15 last week by Hootens, and Gosnell mercy ruled them. So Gosnell has a good team coming into this game. They're really hot, and just like the Badgers, they're hungry to win and move on to the playoffs.
Especially impressive. They won 3 of those 4 games on the road, and Jack, they're on the road tonight here in Arkadelphia. Now, a few years ago, we went to Gosnell. It was a cold night, but Arkadelphia got the win in a low-scoring game. It's going to be cold again tonight, and Badger Stadium is going to be full of Badger fans. Arkadelphia is very strong here at home.
Yeah, we're kind of hoping that this time around against Gosnell it won't be another 7-6 barn burner of a game, but yeah, tonight both sets of fans coming out tonight with a decent showing from the Gosnell fans, obviously on the other side of the state, but still the Gosnell faithful still here, home game for the Badgers, and hope to get a win tonight.
Well, it's a 4-game win streak for Gosnell. For Arkadelphia, it's a 5-game win streak. Arkadelphia one time 0-5 on the season, 0-2 in conference play, and then a 44-0 win at Fountain Lake, a 35-6 win against Harmony Grove of Haskell, a 44-12 win at Ashdown. Then they took on Bauxite, a team that at the time was undefeated, and Arkadelphia got the win 24-12. Then at Malvern last week, a one-sided affair, 66-0 Arkadelphia. Caleb, this is a Badger team with a lot of confidence right now.
Yeah, this team has really turned the season around since that 0-5 point. They've shown a lot of character in doing so. They're led by a really strong senior class who knows that this team has talent, this team had potential, and they managed to turn this team around. And now that they do have a lot of confidence, especially 2 weeks ago beating a Bauxite team that was ranked number 3 in the state and beating them pretty handily here at Badger Stadium. And then last week a 66-0 win over their rivals Malvern. This Badger team is really hot right now coming in to the playoffs.
We are waiting for our 2 teams to enter the field, and then we'll be underway here in Arkadelphia at All Care Field Badger Stadium in Arkadelphia. For our radio listeners, we're going to take a 2-minute break. We'll be back with more of the pregame show and then the kickoff in 2 minutes. And for the live stream listeners and watchers, we are right back here with you now. Roger Wingfield State Farm Insurance is a sponsor tonight, along with Taylor King Law, Southwest Sporting Goods, Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Eddie Arnold of Jostens, and also Twin Rivers Health and Rehabilitation, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Southern Bancorp, Arnold Batson Turner and Turner, Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, and Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker. We want to say such a big thank you to this group that has sponsored our first ever season of video live stream for Arkadelphia High School, and we have had a successful year. We're excited about that. A lot of viewers, and we've had a lot of people who have expressed interest in seeing more of this kind of thing, and it is Chris Babb who has led us in this department to make it possible, sitting to my right, engineering tonight. And I tell you what, he's been doing a lot of a variety of different kinds of live streams for Arkadelphia. We'll talk more about that at halftime, and we'll also bring you the Arkadelphia High School Band, the state champion band for Class 4A, and they're going to bring you their full show for the last time tonight. So we're excited to bring that to you at halftime. We'll also have some other halftime entertainment, and we'll be talking with Chris about the fact that there's a lot to see if you tune in for all the different kinds of live stream events for Arkadelphia Public Schools. We'll be talking about that at halftime also. So once again, thank you to Roger Wingfield of State Farm Insurance, Taylor King Law, Southwest Sporting Goods, Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Eddie Arnold of Jostens and Twin Rivers Health and Rehabilitation, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Southern Bancorp, Arnold Batson, Turner and Turner, Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, and Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker. Well, once again, it is the first round of the playoffs. Arkadelphia, Caleb, had to be kind of wondering, were they going to make this happen when the team was 0-5 after three very difficult non-conference games against higher classification teams and then losses to both Robinson and to Nashville. But the Badgers fought back, picked up 5 important wins in a row, and one of those was a victory against at the time, an undefeated Bauxite team. This conference is putting some quality teams into the playoffs.
Yeah, there's 4 really, really good teams going in the playoffs from the 7-4A, and 3 of those are on the same side of the bracket here, the lower side of the bracket in Arkadelphia, Bauxite, and Nashville. Bauxite and Nashville actually could have a rematch next week in the second round of the playoffs. So a lot of really, really quality teams coming out of the 7-4A, and Arkadelphia has had a tough road to get to these playoffs, but it's really prepared them to face some teams from other parts of the state.
This is going to be quite a matchup. We'll talk more about the individuals here in just a moment. Let's talk about the weather for just a second, Jack, because it has been a rainy fall, no rain tonight. The field's in great shape. Of course, it's artificial turf, but we're talking about a cold evening, and so the players are going to have to adjust to that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's been a pretty wet fall, a lot of rain coming down, mostly on the road, but I mean, with the great conditions here with the artificial turf at Badger Stadium, wouldn't be normally a problem. And then tonight with the cold, players are definitely going to have to be warm all the time. Definitely in for a very cold night at Badger Stadium.
On the live stream, you're seeing coming into the picture now the Arkadelphia Badger seniors, the captains. And I'll tell you what, Jack, this is a group that has had a lot of success in a Badger uniform.
Yeah, these guys, I mean, really from the very beginning of their Badger career, some of them, as we remember them coming and playing at the end of the season when they were freshmen, have been going for about 4 years now, winning a state championship, going to the playoffs every single year, and now this year the 3 seed in the 4A state playoffs. Got a lot going for them in their last season now, winning 5 games in a row, and I'm sure they want to wrap off their Badger careers with another state championship.
Josh Wallace is in your picture now. He's going to walk out to the center of the field in a moment. A 3-year starter at linebacker. Gabe Goodman, the outstanding kicker. He'll be a kicker in college soon. Also Alec Rubel, who's played a key role offensively as a receiver, as a blocker, as also a fullback at times, will be joining them out on the field. And it is an outstanding group of seniors. Carlos Haney is the other one that we see turned a bit, but we're getting the signal now that is Carlos out there. And he's been a leader in the secondary, 6 feet 180. He's got good speed, a real key player in the secondary for Arkadelphia. All of those guys out there are keys for this team. Arkadelphia has a depth advantage tonight, but I've seen Gosnell play before, and these guys are going to play very, very hard. So it's going to be an outstanding contest as Gosnell is skilled. They know how to run their misdirection running offense, and Arkadelphia has some depth and some quality players that have really played well as of late. I'd also say, Jack, that Arkadelphia comes into the game for this season, for this part of the season, I should say, really a healthy team.
Yeah, I mean, both teams really, like we've mentioned, coming in with a lot of momentum, especially for the Badgers. Winning 5 in a row, highlighted with the win against the, at the time, number 3 team in the state, ranked by Houghton's Bauxite. But luckily for the Badgers, not a whole lot of injuries like we've seen in years past, so definitely in a position now to make a run in the playoffs.
We're going to take one more radio break. We're in tune to KDEL FM 100.9 in Arkadelphia. We'll take a 2-minute break for radio, and we'll be back for the kickoff. And for the live stream, we are right back with you, getting ready for the kickoff tonight. Gosnell still in the locker room, getting ready to come out. The Pirates making some plans and working hard. And Arkadelphia has its captains on the field. The rest of the team is preparing to come out as well. It's a large crowd that is gathering despite this cold weather. It was down into the mid-40s, expected to be in the low 40s by the end of the game tonight, and it will reach 28 degrees. So as the temperature drops, it's going to be the excitement on the field that's going to keep these fans warm. But it's a big crowd that has turned out, as one would expect, for a playoff game. And some folks from Gosnell have made a long, long drive. Caleb, it is a long way from Arkadelphia to Gosnell.
Yeah, it is a very long way up there to northeast Arkansas. I know a few years ago the Badgers chartered a few buses up there to play against the Pirates, and I'm sure Gosnell had their work cut out for them planning the trip down here to Arkadelphia today. But the teams down here, they have a small band here with them, and quite a few fans making the journey down. So it'll be interesting to see if that long bus ride is going to play any effect on how they come out here in this game. I know from experience taking those long bus rides to sporting events in high school, it's really easy to get off the bus and feel a little bit tired or groggy after that. But had a few hours now after the bus ride, and they're going to be ready to play, I'm sure, because cold weather out here, if nothing else, will wake them up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can't really say a whole lot about football experience with that, but definitely with soccer, having to travel several hours at a time. Not the most enjoyable part, especially before the game, but I'm sure Gosnell is ready and prepared for the night.
We mentioned the captains for Arkadelphia. The captains tonight for Gosnell include Brett Barbary, who is the coach's son and is maybe the biggest of the guys who are going to see a lot of action tonight, but also the quarterback. He has played some tight end, some defensive end this year, but he's playing quarterback tonight, and he looked good in warm-up. 6'3", 240. He's got a very strong arm, but, of course, they're going to run the ball most of the time. They also have Devin Jones out there. We just had a correction to the program. Devin Jones is out there. He'll play some defense and play some offense. The one thing that we're going to see, Caleb, is that some of the Pirates are going to have to play both ways. They just don't have as much depth.
Yeah, this team really reminds me a bit of the Harmony Grove team that came to Arkadelphia a few weeks back. Harmony Grove had about the same amount of players as Gosnell does, had a lot of guys playing both ways, and you didn't have a ton of size. You look out there, you see Barbary, 6'3", 240. He's probably their biggest player, and he's the quarterback. So not a ton of size out there on the team. While Barbary is a big guy, I mean, those linemen are not nearly what Arkadelphia is used to seeing, maybe out of Robinson or out of Bauxite this year.
We did see in warm-ups that there's a wide variety of weights on that offensive line for Gosnell. In fact, they do have, at least lining up, a young man that, according to our program, is a ninth grader that will start on the offensive line. He's the biggest guy on the team at 6'1", 294. A couple other guys with good size. Fred DeBose is the left tackle, I should say, 6 feet 235. Landon Hicks, 6'1", 215. And then two smaller guys on the offensive line who are going to work very hard. Jamal Carter at 5'11", 180, and Garrett Gentry, who is 5'10", 178. And we'll bring you any changes that we see in the line. But that is a wide difference with your offensive linemen going from either 178 to 294. Interesting lineup for Gosnell. But I tell you what, they've got outstanding running backs, and they run them in various directions, and misdirection is part of this offense. So Arkadelphia is going to have to not only play hard, but play smart against this Gosnell offense. Here comes Arkadelphia onto the field. We see them entering now, and if you're watching on the live stream, you're getting that viewpoint. Arkadelphia onto the field first, wearing red tonight. Badgers usually wearing blue at home, white on the road, but they're wearing red tonight. Red, white, and blue are the school colors. Gosnell Pirates out onto the field as well, wearing white road jerseys, and we are just about ready for football. I tell you what, guys, this is what they call the third season. It's not the non-conference 3 games. It's not the conference 7 games. It's the postseason, and, Jack, we're ready for it too.
Yeah, really, at this point in the season, it's really any team's chance really to go ahead and just make a run for that championship. At War Memorial in Little Rock, any team has a chance to go and win the championship, just getting a couple wins just to get there and then the chance to win it. And I'm sure every team in this 4A and every team in the Arkansas State playoffs is hoping for that, and we know that's the case for both the teams here tonight.
It's 45 degrees and the temperature is dropping, but it's about to heat up on the field as we're going to have the kickoff soon. It will be Arkadelphia kicking off. Interesting call, Caleb, because Arkadelphia won the toss but elected to kick off and depend on its defense first.
Yeah, I think this is a move from Coach Eldridge, thinking this might be a bit of a closer game than we've seen the last couple of weeks. Last week against Malvern, Arkadelphia won the toss, elected to keep the ball to start the game, wanted to get some points on the board early and maybe get out to a really big early lead. This game, taking the option for the second half, wanted to get the ball right after halftime and maybe improve upon a halftime situation and bringing themselves out to a bigger lead in the second half rather than starting the game out with that lead.
Based on the warm-ups, it does appear that Arkadelphia has a significant advantage in the kicking game, and that's nothing against Gosnell, but Gabe Goodman is just that good. Arkadelphia seems to always have that advantage. He put several into the end zone on kickoffs last week. He is an excellent field goal kicker, an excellent punter as well, and he'll kick off to get the game started. So Gabe Goodman lines up. Arkadelphia set to kick off. Gosnell set to return the kickoff. Here is Gabe Goodman. Left-footed kicker puts it high. It is returnable, though. It'll be fielded at the 10-yard line. Returned up to the 15 to the right side. He'll go to the 20, 25, 28-yard line. On the return for Gosnell was Devin Jones.
Yeah, a lot higher kick from Gabe Goodman. I want to say that probably he meant to do that, just kicking it high up in the air with a lot more hang time for the Badgers special teams to be able to get down there. But Gosnell starting with decent field position now inside their own 30, but still a lot better than what would have happened if Gabe had kicked in the end zone.
You know, much better than we've seen in recent games when it's either been a touchback or a very high kick and a long kick that resulted in a tackle before the 20 or 25-yard line. So from the 28-yard line, first down and 10 for Gosnell. They'll line up in an option formation. Quarterback under center, that's Barbary. Behind him is the fullback, and the fullback is Austin Middleton, and then 2 halfbacks. And those 2 guys are going to be Kadarius Young and Devin Jones. They're lined up behind the tackles. In motion goes Young. He'll carry to the right side, but Arkadelphia is there immediately. This is a good run defense. They proved it here on first down.
Yeah, good job on first down. The Badgers have come up against this type of offense. I believe this is the 4th time this year, or 5th time this year. They faced a triple option against Wynn in the non-conference, and then against Harmony Grove, Ashdown, and Bauxite during the conference slate. And they performed well against this kind of offense each time they faced it. And so look to see more of that from the Badger defense tonight.
Not much of a gain. The ball is closer to the 29-yard line, but we'll call it still second down and 10. A pass play. It goes to the flat. It's incomplete. High and incomplete. Intended for Amarian Partey, and his fingertips couldn't quite reach the ball, which was triggered out there quickly and triggered high.
Yeah, that was a really nice read on that play from Victor Tadamy. And I think the quarterback, Barbary, might have been lucky that he threw that ball high. If that ball had been on target, it probably would have been picked off by Victor Tadamy. He really read that play well and made a break on the ball. So really nice job from the Arkadelphia defense, not getting caught off by the pass play. And now they forced this Gosnell offense into a 3rd and long.
Yeah, Tadamy's one of the best in the state, and they threw at him, and it didn't work. So it's 3rd down, 10 yards to go. They'll run the option. They're coming wide this time. Arkadelphia set to defend it. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and driven out of bounds. A loss on the play, and Arkadelphia is forced to punt after 3 plays. Jadarian Young on the carry.
Yeah, if you're a team like Gosnell with the kind of formation that they do and kind of offense they run, you want a lot of downhill running, and that time just running straight to the left side, getting no yards, what it looked to be. Yeah, I think gain of 0 on the play. Definitely not something you want to see, especially in 3rd down and long, running the ball in that time. going to be a 3-and-out for Gosnell in their first drive.
4th down and 11 yards to go. Jones is set to punt the ball, and Tatamy is set to receive it. Tatamy standing at his own 42-yard line. Jones is a pretty good punter, and we'll see if he can kick it away from Tatamy. I'm sure that's what he'd like to do. He does try that. It's going to go to Tatamy, and he will lose the ball. It is bouncing around. It's still loose, and now it will be picked up by the Pirates at midfield. He just had too far to go and couldn't get under it, but he did touch it, and so it's a turnover on Arkadelphia, and the Pirates have great field position.
Yeah, in hindsight, Tatamy probably should have let that ball go. After that great defensive start, he probably was feeling the momentum and thought he could get a pretty good punt return, but should have taken the safe option and let the punt go and let Gosnell down, and instead he tried to take the risk. Couldn't jump on top of it. There's a big scramble for the ball there, bouncing around the field. Gosnell finally able to come up with it, and those are the kind of mistakes Arkadelphia can't make. And Arkadelphia has a better record, probably has more talent on the team, but if they're making mistakes like that, Gosnell is going to have a chance to stay in this game and get a victory.
That's the kind of mistake that Arkadelphia has not made on this 5-game winning streak. So on 1st down from the 50, here's a running play, and once again, there's just nowhere to go. Arkadelphia defends it well, linebackers and linemen all making the tackle.
Yeah, that was Josh Wallace coming in there, bursting through the line of scrimmage and making the tackle first. So Wallace has had an excellent senior season. He's a guy that doesn't always get his name called, but he's always in the pile there making tackles. And that time he really came out fast through the line of scrimmage and made a nice tackle on the running back.
Terrell Sumler also helping out on the tackle, a loss of 1 at 2nd down, 11 yards to go. And so far, Gosnell has negative total yardage from their own 49-yard line, 2nd down and 11 yards to go. They'll send 2 men wide to the right side this time, changing the formation just a bit. And the quarterback will once again hand it off. A little bit of misdirection, but a good tackle. Nowhere to go. He might have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage, but, Jack, it's 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, it's really hard for the Badgers, or for Gosnell to go at this Badgers defense every single time. This defensive line has been able to go through a lot of different styles of offense, and we see tonight a Gosnell team that was a lot like the Harmony Grove team that we saw earlier in the season.
3rd down, 10 yards to go. Ball back at the 50-yard line. Gosnell picked up a fumble on a punt return by Arkadelphia and started this drive at the 50, but it's still at the 50, so they've not actually made it into Arkadelphia territory yet. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. Barbary is a good passer. We'll see if he will pass on 3rd and long. He wants to throw it. He'll fire it across the middle, too high and incomplete. Well defended. The intended receiver once again was Partee.
Yeah, and then nothing was going to get past Victor Tatamy there on that throw. Ball high up in the air, and Tatamy still laid a nice hit on Partees as the ball came into his area. Trainers are going to have to come out in the field and help him off. Looks like he's fine, just a little bit shaken up. Maybe he got the wind knocked out of him on that play.
May have hit the ground a little bit hard on this cold night. It is 4th down. And punting situation once again, I think, even though they could go for it at the 50, but since they've gained no positive yardage here, I think they'll punt the ball away. 6 plays and minus 1 yard so far of total offense for Gosnell. Arkadelphia did turn the ball over on the last punt return. This time they'll send Carlos Haney back along with Tatamy and try to take care of the football. Out to kick is Jones.
Last punt, Arkadelphia got really close to blocking, and we'll see if they go for the block once again on this one.
Jones takes a snap, steps into it. The kick is away, and it is high, and it is caught. And Tatamy wants to run with the ball from the 23s up to the 30. Well, that's Haney to the 35, out of bounds at the 37 near the 38-yard line. Good return by Carlos Haney.
Yeah, Haney had a really nice return on that play.
I take it back. I think that might have been was it Haney? Okay, and on the sideline, slow in getting up was Braden Thomas, but I guess no, it's not Braden Thomas. It's Sam Hawthorne. We'll get all the numbers straight here in a minute. I think they landed on Sam over there in the collision at the sideline, but he's going to walk it off, and he's going to be okay. Good return by Haney, as Caleb said. So from the 39-yard line, it's good field position. Only 11-yard net punt after the return.
Got to make sure all the laces are tied tonight. Referees, don't want any mistakes.
And I got to read the numbers correctly. We'll work on that too. On 1st down pass, here it is, throw downfield. It is complete, and it is going to be a gain up to the 35-yard line of The Pirates on the catch for Arkadelphia was Braden Thomas.
Yeah, really nice job on the read pass option there. The RPO hit him right across the middle to Braden Thomas, and that's something I think Eldridge is going to try to hit a lot tonight is that RPO. Gosnell is looks like they're sitting back in a cover 3, and 4 verticals against cover 3. It's really easy to pick off one of those open receivers.
26-yard gain on the first play from scrimmage. Here's a draw play, and it will lose yardage back to the 38-yard line. Well, the first play worked beautifully. The second one's a loss, and it will be a 4-yard loss back to the 39-yard line. From there, it's 2nd and 14.
Yeah, we know Gosnell isn't much of a big team, but that time they just went right through this Badgers offensive line. Gosnell defense doing a great job of going through the offensive line and able to take Hatley down for a loss.
On 2nd and long, Arkadelphia sends a man in motion, rolls to the right side. Here's another pass play, incomplete, well defended at the 29-yard line. Now a flag goes down. Let's see if perhaps the hit was made before the ball got there. It was a little bit of a late flag at the spot of the contact at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, flag going down. The pass was intended for KJ Terry there, and he did get his hands on the football before being hit, so I'm not sure what that call might be. It looks like the Arkadelphia offense is moving backwards, so it might be a penalty against the Badgers after the play.
And now we're waiting for the official to signal it, but it does look like it's going to go against Arkadelphia. No pass interference against Gosnell. Well, Arkadelphia backed up, but they misinterpreted that because Arkadelphia will be the beneficiary of this 15-yard pass interference call. It's going to move the ball down to the 24-yard line. 1st down and 10 for the Badgers. The hit came just a fraction of a second before the ball got there. Arkadelphia lines up. Shotgun formation, of course. Cannon Turner is the quarterback. In motion comes Rubel. Now he'll go behind the right tackle, and they'll send another man in motion to the right side, and they'll run the ball. Here is Hatley. Hatley cuts upfield. Good run. He's inside the 15 to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, Hatley's going to make up for that early run he had, the negative yardage that time. He got good blocking, motion, moving around the Gosnell defense. That's something we're going to see a lot of tonight, motion, moving around that defense, and then a nice cut by Hatley and getting upfield and running up and down. It's going to be 2nd and really short for the Badgers here.
Ball at the 14-yard line. They just called it a 1st down, I believe. They did. A 1st down for Arkadelphia. Just did make a 1st at the 14-yard line. Cannon Turner in the shotgun with Hatley. He will hand off Hatley to the right side. Cuts it up the field near the hash mark. Makes it inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Yeah, he took a big hit there, did Hatley. He got a nice gain, about 5 yards, 6 yards on the gain, but then a big hit. He got stood up by one Gosnell defender, and another one came up and cleaned his clock, took him down. So, nonetheless, a good gain from the Badgers, and now they're inside the 10-yard line.
So the Badgers are looking to score first here in the first quarter. There is no score, and there is 7:26 left, clock running. We are in the first quarter tonight. First possession for Arkadelphia. Waiting for the snap is Turner. He'll take it. He'll hand off and hit immediately. Is Hatley. He'll go down near the 10-yard line. That is a good break into the backfield by the linebacker, and that is the younger brother of their star running back. He's a star in the making, Jadarian Young on the tackle.
Yeah, it was a really nice play by Young there, and they blitzed him coming off the edge. Perfect play by Young, coming in the backfield, coming off the edge, and just making a nice tackle across the backfield on Hatley.
From the 9, they're going to run the option. Hatley wide. He's got some room to the 5, to the 3. Touchdown, Arkadelphia.
What a run there from Zion Hatley, just going to the left side and following his great blocking once again from these Arkadelphia receivers that we've seen such a good job from so far this season, making it so easy for Zion Hatley. Just waltzes into the end zone, goes by one, goes by another, into the end zone, and it looks like the Badgers are going to go for 2 on their first touchdown.
The Badgers have been doing this on occasion. They've got a great kicker, of course, and he is very consistent on extra points, but they do like to see how a defense lines up against them and consider going for 2 when they get their first opportunity. And they're going to go with an off-balance line. The center snaps it. They pitch it out to Thomas, who throws it into the end zone, and it is good. A 2-point conversion by Arkadelphia.
That was a really incredible 2-point conversion play by the Badgers, and hopefully you're on the live stream. You can see exactly what happened there. It's hard to describe it. Good description there from Jeff, and nice pitch and a pitch. It almost looked like Thomas was the kicker on that play, lined up almost like they were going to kick the extra point. It was Thomas out there instead of Goodman. And then the motion to the right and the pitch really deep back into the backfield and a nice throw for a 2-point conversion.
All right, so you saw it if you're watching the live stream. If you're listening to the radio or if you want to see it again, watch the J.R. Eldridge Show coming up next week. We'll not only see that, but Caleb, who is the host of that, along with Coach Eldridge, they're going to talk about it because that's worth some discussion. What an imaginative 2-point conversion, and it is good. So Arkadelphia leads it 8-0, 6:40 left in the first quarter. I got a little plug in for your TV show there, Caleb.
Yeah, that was a good plug.
Gabe Goodman is set for the kickoff.
Oh, thank you for the plug.
Here's the kickoff by Gabe Goodman. This time it is high, it is long, it is near the end zone, it is in the end zone, and out of the end zone.
Yeah, that's more like it there from Gabe Goodman. Just kicking it in the end zone like we've seen so many times this season, and it makes it a lot less good starting field possession for Gosnell.
Yeah, and it was a good decision there. As Kadarius Young back there could have actually received that kick. He was standing about the 2-yard line, could have caught it, and he just took a step back and watched it fall in the end zone and bounce in. He'd seen on film what happened in the last couple guys who tried to recover a kick on the 2 or 3 yard line for Arkadelphia. They tend to get tackled inside the 20. So smart play there by Young to let the ball bounce in the end zone and let his offense take the ball to the 20-yard line.
All right, so here come the Pirates. They scored over 40 points against a good team last week, but they're down 8-0 here in the first quarter against Arkadelphia. What can they put together offensively? What can Arkadelphia's defense do? Here's a run to the right side, and still looking for a hole is Mr. Young. He'll go down with maybe a 1-yard gain. Yeah,
just putting everybody in the box really, or just about everybody from both teams. Not really surprised to see Gosnell run the ball, running up the middle, but the Badgers' defensive line, like we've seen so many times this season, be able to stop it. This defensive line has done a great job, and we saw it once again there on first down.
Jack, you could just go with Pirates. That one's easier.
You're onto something. I think you're really onto something.
All right, Gosnell, not Gosnell, right?
Right.
And the Pirates, we get that right every time.
Yep.
All right, second down, 9 yards to go for Gosnell. They're going to run to the right side this time. Young showing some speed. He breaks the tackle, but he still just gets out to the 25, so it's 3rd down and 5 coming.
Yeah, and that's the first decent gain we've seen from Gosnell tonight. Excuse me. We're gonna get it right one of these days. Gosnell getting up to 3rd and 5. So finally they're in a position that they want to be in an offense, third and manageable, and they can stay in their rushing attack here in this situation.
So, key play coming for the Pirates from the 25-yard line. They need 5 yards to pick up a first down. It would be their first down of the game. And they need it, even though it's the first quarter, simply because they're already down 8-0. They don't want to punt the ball back to Arkadelphia from their own 25-yard line. They're going to line up with 2 split receivers this time, one to the right, one to the left, and he does want to pass. Barbary in some trouble, fires the ball to the sideline. There's a good throw and catch to the 33-yard line and out of bounds. That's a first down because of the good work of the quarterback, as Arkadelphia provided some very fine defense getting back there quickly, but he fired the ball to the sideline, got the completion.
Yeah, definitely the 2 biggest guys on the field right there making the play. Barbary, the quarterback, 6'3", 240, and then the tight end there, Bailey Fields, 6'3", 190, making the catch. So 2 big guys playing pass and catch there. Arkadelphia's defensive line got in the backfield, chased Barbary around a bit, but he ended up being able to make that throw. So nice play from Gosnell to pick up the first down.
So it's a running team, but they get their first down of the game by the pass. And now they're going to run a quarterback sneak right at Arkadelphia. And the big, tall, strong quarterback still pushing and pushing. Now they're going to blow the whistle, and it will be a gain of 2, maybe 3 on the play.
Yeah, good heads-up play there from the Pirates. Quarterback Barbary just trying to sneak it up the middle with this big offensive line. Just trying to go through the Badgers' defensive line, and that time we're able to pick up a couple yards on the play for a nice first down run.
Speaking a little history here, the Barbary Coast did have Pirates. You realize that? Wow. It did. Not joking about it. From the 36-yard line, after a gain of, we'll say, 3, it is 2nd down and 7. 3 running backs in the game, and they are going to hand it to the halfback coming through. He'll cut it up the middle, and he's going to be tackled by a bunch of Badgers, and he's fighting for extra yardage. They're finally going to blow the whistle as he makes the 40, maybe the 41-yard line. On the carry was Jones.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of piles like this tonight for the Badgers. The defense swarming to the football and really gang tackling, but what that does is it allows those guys in the middle of the pile, they're just ripping at the football the entire time they're in that pile, in that gang tackle, ripping at the football. A couple weeks ago against Bauxite, there were 5 or 6 times that the referees blew for forward progress, and an Arkadelphia defender came out of the pile with the football. So these Gosnell players are going to have to keep a tight hold on the football to keep from fumbling in these gang tackles.
3rd down, 3 yards to go. Another handoff. Up the middle it goes. There is a gain, and it just depends on the spot. He kind of rolled his way out to the 45. They'll mark it at the 44, but I think that's going to be enough for a first down. So successive first downs for Gosnell, and they moved it out to their own 44-yard line. The Pirates are looking better offensively. Not surprised that they're fighting back after that Arkadelphia touchdown, but Arkadelphia's defense has tackled well, so we'll see if Gosnell can keep this drive going. It is taking some time off the clock. We're now under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Arkadelphia has only had 1 offensive possession because they fumbled a punt return earlier in the first quarter. That 1 possession was a touchdown. Running play up the middle, counter play, there's just nowhere to go. Good tackling by Arkadelphia.
Yeah, good read there from the Badgers at that time. Another fake to the right for the Pirates, but the Badgers were able to get around the edge and take the Pirates running back down before he was able to get any positive yards.
Yeah, I think it was Jason Campbell that made the tackle there. Came in off the edge and stood up that running back from Gosnell and let the rest of his teammates come in and finish up the tackle. So really nice job there from Campbell. The junior's really having a great season.
Devin Jones was the running back on the plays. Also, one of the best defenders on this team, a really strong linebacker, getting the carry that time. 2nd down and about 9.5. They're going to run it back to the wide side of the field and trying to cut up the field, but now fumbling the ball. Arkadelphia has returned a fumble to the 25, to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. That is a touchdown, Arkadelphia.
That's Kyron Harrison, I believe, on the fumble recovery for a touchdown, and I mentioned it just a minute ago. These Badger defenders on the tackles, they're going to be ripping at the football, and they did it just there. And when you have someone like Kyron Harrison, who such a good athlete, when he picks up a fumble like that, he's not going to be stopped. Able to get in the end zone. A really, really nice play from the Arkadelphia defense.
He has scored touchdowns as a running back, and this time a penalty has been waived off. I think that may have been after the play anyway. They seem to have waived off that penalty, or maybe he just dropped it out of his pocket, but no penalty. Arkadelphia has the touchdown, and now Arkadelphia looks like they're going to line up and perhaps go for 2 again.
Yeah, it looks like it. Buster Thomas out on the field once again with the rest of the offense.
And they're going to make a substitution again. They haven't started the play clock yet. Arkadelphia leads it 14-0, and now will go for 2 again, I believe. The officials have not yet put a ball into play. Now they get a ball from the sideline. And now that we've found a football, we're going to play some football. Now there are 2 balls on the field. We've got to get rid of one of them, guys. There we go. Here we go. 2-point conversion for Arkadelphia. Cannon Turner at quarterback. Next to him, to his left and behind him, is Hatley at running back. 2 receivers to the left side, tight end to the right side. In motion comes a receiver. Now Turner will keep it, and he's into the end zone. 2-point conversion, and Arkadelphia has a 16-0 lead with 1:52 in the first quarter. We'll be back on KDEL FM 100.9 in 30 seconds. And on the live stream, we're right back here with you. Arkadelphia looking very, very strong right now, Jack.
Yeah, they made that 2-point conversion look easy. Just a simple motion to the right side from the receiver. I think it was Thomas that time, and then Turner just electing to keep it himself, running it through the left side, just right through the middle. It gets the 2-point conversion, but that fumble recovery, long fumble recovery for a touchdown. Great play from this Badgers defense, like we've seen so many times this season, and they're now up 16-0. The first quarter still on its way.
Gosnell right now might be thinking, this doesn't look like a 5-5 team we're playing. This looks like the defending state champion, and of course both things are true.
They'd be right.
Yeah. Gabe Goodman set for the kickoff. Arkadelphia with a first-quarter lead of 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions, so it's 16-0.
It's also important to note that today is Gabe Goodman's birthday, so I'm sure that he's going to be trying to get a lot more touchbacks and a lot more spotlight tonight for the big day.
Well, and now everybody knows, so gifts will be flowing in his direction. Oh, he slipped down on the kickoff. You were bad luck for him on that, but it is a return, fumbled at the 8-yard line, picked up at the 10-yard line. Jones is in trouble and dropped at the 11.
Meant to do that.
And the slip worked out for him there.
Sneak attack on the football.
Yeah, resulted in a shorter kick, but Jones couldn't get a hold of it, and Arkadelphia is going to push him back now, and Gosnell's going to have to start within their own 15-yard line.
Gosnell will start at its own, what are we going to say, 10-yard line? Yeah, they put it down at the 10. Barbary comes back out. He looks like a good quarterback. He's an awfully big quarterback at 240, but he's got a good arm. To the line of scrimmage. Lined up again in their running formation, and they're going to hand it off. Right up the middle it goes. A little bit of yardage for Young this time, but not much, and a tackle is made. Actually on the carry that time for Gosnell, they sent a new halfback in. That time it was Darian Bester.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the same from Gosnell tonight. The Pirates just doing a lot of runs up the middle, trying to do a lot of misdirection. Only been able to fool the Badgers a couple times, but for the most part, this Badgers defense has done an outstanding job of not only getting on the tackle and taking the Pirates running backs down, but also reading the plays, and they did so the same just there.
Barbary gets the play from the sideline. He's the coach's son, kind of a coach on the field. It's a cliche, but true, as some cliches are. Under center, he'll start the play. He will hand off, and right up the middle they'll go again, but there's just not a lot there. They're going to push and push, but now the whistle will blow as he reaches near the 15-yard line. Third down coming up for the Pirates.
Yeah, another good stop there by the Badger defense, and just more of the same from them, plugging the gaps on the offensive line, and then the linebackers able to flow to the football and make those tackles in the gang, in the pile that's created by those defensive linemen. So really a team effort by all of the Arkadelphia defense, and when you have 10 guys inside the box, it's really easy for the Badgers at least to stop this kind of rushing attack.
They spotted the ball just past the 15, so we'll say it's the 16 and 3rd down and 4. 3rd down, 4 yards to go for the Pirates. And now a whistle blows just as we're underway. It's a timeout, not a penalty, a timeout with 8 seconds left in the quarter. So we'll take a break for radio. For KDEL FM 100.9 in Arkadelphia, we'll be back in 30 seconds. And for our live stream viewers, we are right back here with you now. Well, this is a key 3rd down, I would say, Caleb. The Pirates really need something good to happen, down by 2 touchdowns, with Arkadelphia scoring once on a turnover and scoring once with its offense.
Yeah, already down by 2 touchdowns, and we've said this with every team with this kind of rushing offense Arkadelphia's played this year. You can't get down by a big margin and expect to continue to run this kind of offense. This offense really is designed to move methodically down the field and take time off the clock and control the game. But if you're down by 3 touchdowns, which is potentially what could happen if Gosnell's forced to punt on this possession, it's really difficult to come back, even if it's only in the second quarter.
Just human nature would say it's harder to play both ways with the same amount of energy when you are trailing in the game.
Yeah, it is. And also, given the fact they had that 4.5-hour bus ride down to Arkadelphia today, that in itself is going to make their players a bit more tired than Arkadelphia's, who had a full day of school and their normal pregame routine.
3rd down, between 4 and 5 yards to go. We'll say 3rd and 4. They're going to run right up the middle. There's a nice counter play, and it is enough for a 1st down across the 20 to the 23-yard line. Some misdirection worked well that time on the carry was Jadarian Young.
Yeah, Young that time. It's kind of hard to see where the actual ball is and where the ball carrier is when these big piles come up, and that time Young just kind of popped out of the pile and was able to pick up a couple more yards before the Badgers were able to bring him down. So good play on that 3rd down, is able to get the chains moving.
Now, they had to start this drive back at their own 10-yard line, so despite the first down, they're still deep on their own end at the 24, and they'll have a first down and 10 from there when we come back for the second quarter. After one quarter of play tonight, it's Arkadelphia 16 and Gosnell 0. We'll be back with more on KDEL in 1 minute. And on the live stream, we're right back with you now. Well, our window's starting to fog up a bit, guys, but the camera lens is working well, and you're getting a good picture as you watch the live stream.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain too much about the foggy window. If it means we're warm inside and it's a bit cold outside, I'm not going to complain.
Very good science lesson from Caleb Bird there.
It means I am not sitting in the 40-degree weather outside.
It is cool outside, isn't it? And yet it's going to get colder. You know, the Battle of the Ravine is tomorrow, so it's quite a weekend here in Arkadelphia. Henderson State playing at home against Ouachita Baptist. Ouachita coming in at 10-0. Henderson State coming in as the spoiler at 5-5. And that game will be played in the middle of the day, but still in 40-degree weather all day long tomorrow, though the sun's going to be out at least tomorrow for the Battle of the Ravine. Tonight, playoff high school football, Arkadelphia leading 16-0 after one quarter, and the Pirates of Gosnell have the football. They'll carry the ball. Halfback cuts it up the middle but doesn't get much, maybe a yard on first down.
Yeah, another short run there from Gosnell. Jeez. The Pirates, good run that time on first down, able to pick up a couple more yards. But this Badgers defense has been able to hold them up and not really allow a lot of big plays, and that's exactly what they wanted from tonight. And then I'll bring up another second and 8, I think.
You're right. Spot is at the 26-yard line, so it's second down, 8 yards to go as we're just into the second quarter now. Gosnell has been able to make a few first downs, but they've not come close to the red zone. They're going to send a runner to the left side. This is Young this time, the younger version. He is a junior, and he's going to be tackled by 4 or 5 Badgers. They'll finally blow the whistle. Lots of pile-ups and pushing at the end of runs because both teams putting a lot of people in the box and lots of bodies around the football. That gain is up to the 30-yard line. It's third down again.
Yeah, and once again, Arkadelphia's got Gosnell in a third down situation, and this is where Badgers need to come up big. Gosnell converted the last time on third down, but Badgers have a chance to get them off the field now and force them to punt. So another big stop is needed here from the Arkadelphia defense.
The quarterback is the son of the coach. Brett Barbary is the quarterback, 6'3", 240, and he will key this very important third down play for Gosnell. They'll run it up the middle, and there is some yardage, but it just depends on the spot. Ooh, I think he might get a good spot. If so, that will be a first down, as carrying the ball up the middle that time was Darian Bester.
Yeah, I don't think he got the first down on that play. I mean, like you said, it'll depend on the spot, but you know, we're right about at the line, right about at the first down marker here in the press box, and it looked to me like Arkadelphia's defense pulled him back before he got that first down. But referee on the near side is not gonna say the same thing and going to give Gosnell the first down.
Yeah, that spot was perhaps a little generous, at least according to the Arkadelphia crowd here on the home side of the stadium. But again, it's another first down, 2 first downs on this drive for Gosnell. Let's see if Barbary wants to go back to the air. Now they'll just keep running right out Arkadelphia, and once again, only a short gain, 2, maybe 3 yards. Well, the spot's a reasonably good one. Arkadelphia has bent a little bit, but they've not allowed Gosnell to travel deep into the Arkadelphia side of the field. They've scored on a turnover. They have forced a couple of punts. Arkadelphia did turn it over on one of those punts. The Badgers have had precious few opportunities to run its offense out onto the field, but they lead at 16-0 here as we go under the 10-minute mark in the second quarter.
Yeah, another gang tackle there, forward progress called, but Cannon Turner came out with the football. So gotta watch for that here on these gang tackles. Arkadelphia defender is going to be ripping at the ball.
Turner is in at safety. The fullback runs it this time, and he really has nowhere to go. So there is a gain of 1, if anything. On the carry that time was Austin Middleton.
Here we go again, another big third down. Gosnell has been able to convert on the last 2 third down plays, and this time it's a little bit longer, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of play they run here if they decide to run the ball or go back to the air.
Third down, 5 yards to go. Ball at the 39-yard line, and the quarterback, Barbary, goes to the sideline to get the play. Now he's into the huddle, and they'll come to the scrimmage. They use plenty of time off the play clock on every possession, every play. Arkadelphia hoping to get the ball back after this play. Here is a misdirection play, a fumble. Barbary picks it up. He wants to run, but there's just nowhere to go. A huge loss on the play, and Arkadelphia is forced to punt with the ball being downed and the quarterback being downed, I should say, back at the 27-yard line. So a mistake. Arkadelphia takes full advantage of it, and they'll get good field position.
Yeah, I think that time it was Terrell Sumler and Carlos Haney, the first guys getting to the quarterback Barbary. He was able to pick the ball up and tried to run with it, but was immediately hit by the two Badgers there for a big loss on the play, and now punting situation for the Pirates.
Jones is back to kick for Gosnell. You're not going to fake it, though, on 4th and about 16. Here is the kick. Line drive shot returnable for Tatamy. He slips down, though, after he makes the tackle, and then he's hit, so there's a flag down.
Yeah, so that's no return there on the slip, but ends up going to end up being a 15-yard return after the late hit. So, not the kind of play you can be making there if you're Gosnell in this situation, down 16-0, and giving Arkadelphia the football back, and now you're giving them good field position. The ball's going to start on the Gosnell 45-yard line.
Pretty amazing stat here in time of possession. Gosnell 13 minutes so far, Arkadelphia 3, and yet the Badgers lead at 16-0. Wow. Part of that Gosnell possession was a fumble return for a touchdown by Arkadelphia. The Badgers have had one long possession of their own that resulted in a touchdown drive. So the Badgers lead it by 2 touchdowns. Let's see. It is a personal foul, and it was what it looked like. Tatamy slipped down as he caught the ball. He stood up because he wanted to run, and then he got knocked down. And so it was clearly a personal foul. They'll move it out to the 45-yard line of Gosnell. Outstanding field position for the Arkadelphia Badgers to begin the drive. 3 receivers to the left side, wide side of the field. Hatley is the running back next to his quarterback in the shotgun. That's Cannon Turner. Now they'll send Thomas in motion. Arkadelphia hands off to Hatley, and he's hit in the backfield again and dropped. Well, they've had some success, the Pirates have, Jack, in getting people into the backfield. But if they don't make that initial tackle, Arkadelphia has gotten good yardage. That's a loss of 4. Now they're going to say 3, so it's 3rd and 13.
And that's a lot of running there. Actually, second down. A lot of
Zion
Hatley's running style is if he's able to get a little bit of space to the start of his run, he's able to get a lot of yards, but that time immediately hit, and that resulted in a loss.
Kind of a run blitz there. And on 2nd down and long, Arkadelphia will send a man in motion and hand it off. Here's an end around, a little bit of room. He'll cut it up the field and make it back to the original line of scrimmage, but that's all. It was Hatley on the carry. They lined him up wide, and then he came with the jet sweep. Didn't quite make it back to the original line of scrimmage, so it's 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, and going to have a passing situation here for the Badgers, but luckily they have some good receivers out there on the field. Victor Tatamy's on the field alongside Buster Thomas, both on the near sideline, and those are the 2 best receivers for the Badgers. So we're going to see how Gosnell elects to cover those 2 star men from Arkadelphia.
The quarterback is Cannon Turner. They'll bring a man in motion to the short side. Now lots of people, he overthrew. There's an incompletion as he overthrew his intended target. They ran the receivers to the left side, set up a screen to the right side, but he overthrew his target, so it's 4th down.
Yeah, nice play design there from Arkadelphia to put all their star players on the left side of the field, the near side, the short side of the field, Tatamy, Thomas, as well as Zion Hatley, and then roll Turner out to that side of the field and try to turn around for a screen pass into the wide side of the field with almost no people on it, but didn't work out too well there for Arkadelphia. Incomplete pass, and now it's 4th and long.
And they're going to go for it. At the 46-yard line of Gosnell, they'll go for it. Passing formation here, and now maybe a quick kick. Here's the snap, and Turner will kick the ball. It's going to be high. It's going to be allowed to bounce. They couldn't send anyone deep, and it's going to roll to the 15-yard line and out of bounds. Good work by Cannon Turner. And it will push the Pirates deep on their own end of the field. We'll take a break for radio. We'll be back with more on KDEL in 30 seconds. And with the live stream, we're right back here with you now. 6:16 left, second quarter. Arkadelphia 16 and Gosnell 0. The Pirates have the football back, but they got a long way to go.
Yeah, a long way to go, like you said, Jeff. 84 yards to be exact. Gosnell hasn't had a lot of good starting. Gosnell has had a lot of good starting field position, and they're going to have to do a lot here to be able to score a touchdown.
6:16 left, second quarter. Gosnell will hand off, and there's just nowhere to go. Arkadelphia swarms the ball carrier. The whistle blows, and it's no gain on the play.
No gain, like you said, Jeff. Like we've seen a lot of that tonight from the Pirates. Another run up the middle. Gosnell's really going to need a little bit more trickery if they're going to want to try and fool these Badgers. The Badgers defense really hasn't had a lot of it tonight. They've had to deal with a lot of the same that we've seen from the Pirates. And once again, another no-gain play, a lot of what we've seen so far tonight.
The Pirates got a stop of that Arkadelphia offense, and then a lot of the same guys stayed in to play offense themselves, but they have struggled to drive the ball against the Badgers. Now a timeout on the field, and so we'll take a break. 5:31 left in the second quarter. Arkadelphia 16, Gosnell 0. On KDEL, we'll be back in 30 seconds. And for the live stream, we're back with you right now. And in just a few seconds, we're going to have a scoring update from around the state. First round of the playoffs. First, I'll tell you, 5:31 left in the second quarter. Arkadelphia 16, Gosnell 0. And on second down and 10, after a timeout, Gosnell will come back out onto the field. The Pirates have only one timeout left. They just called their second one. We'll have to see if they have called up something from the back of the playbook. After this play, we're going to have an update of scores around the state coming from Caleb Bird. We appreciate that, Caleb. And first we'll see if Gosnell wants to perhaps throw the ball. They're going to send a new receiver in as Drew Reynolds, a sophomore who's 6 feet 176, is going to line up at receiver. They're going to run it wide, though. Looking for yardage is Young. He's hit and driven out of bounds, and it's a very short gain. So it's third down and long coming. And how about scores on the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, we got scores from teams in the 7-4A as well as on our side of the bracket for Arkadelphia. We have Nashville playing Elkins, Nashville hosting Elkins, and it's tied there in the second quarter, 0-0 in the second quarter at Nashville. Bauxite took the trip up to Northeast Arkansas. They're facing Truman. They lead there in the second quarter 6-0. And then Robinson leads Pottsville 28-0. Right now at home. And then the team that the winner of this game will face, it looks like it's going to be Warren. Warren leads Central Arkansas Christian 23-0 in the second quarter.
23-0. Run to the left side. There's a nice run, but not enough for a first down. He broke a tackle, but couldn't get past two more Badgers, and so Jack, it's fourth down for the Pirates.
Yeah, just another case of Gosnell just not having a lot of not being able to fool the Badgers, that time. Just running to the left side, able to get a couple of yards there, but just short, and we're going to have another punting situation here.
Jones will line up to do the punting. This time, Arkadelphia sends only one man deep, and that is Victor Tatamy. Arkadelphia has plenty of time to have one more good drive, 4:45 left in the quarter. Here's a good snap. Here's the kick. Boy, they went after that kick but didn't get it. That's his best kick of the night. A fair catch is called for at the 44-yard line of the Badgers, and it is made by Tatamy. First down.
Yeah, there's a flag, however, on the near sideline, and the Badgers really went for that kick. I have to wonder if they decided to throw a flag on that play, maybe a running into the kicker. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to call here.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a call, perhaps a blocking call, even though it was fair caught. Holding maybe. I don't think they really got the kicker, so it's not going to be that, but it does look like it might be against the Badgers, although the Badger offense is going onto the field. So let's just see if they change the spot for Arkadelphia. It was, in fact, a penalty on what would have been a kick return if not for the fair catch.
Yeah, the official's pointing at Carlos Haney on the near sideline, so maybe Haney held his man as he ran down the field, trying to set Tatamy up for a decent punt return.
Carlos kind of pointed at himself also, I guess. He'll own that one and come back out on defense later on. An outstanding senior defensive back for Arkadelphia. So the Badgers will have to start at their own 45-yard line instead of – or 35-yard line instead of the 45. So from the 35, first down, running play. This is Turner. He keeps it. He's got open field to the 40, 45, 50. Turner's got one man to beat. He will be knocked out of bounds at the 29-yard line. It was Kadarius Young, their star running back, who also plays in the secondary. It was able to get a good angle and knock Turner out of bounds after a long run and a first down at the 29.
Yeah, Turner was able to get through the first level and then found a lot of space on the left side, but Young was able to come and chase him down and take him down eventually, just throwing him out of bounds, but Turner's still able to get a lot of yards on the carry and is now in Pirate territory.
That was a 36-yard run by Cannon Turner, the quarterback. He wants to run again. This time he'll cut to the left side. He's got room to the 25, to the 20, to the 15-yard line, knocked out of bounds just short of the 10-yard line. It's all Cannon Turner right now.
Yeah, really smart here from Arkadelphia. They're spreading out the Gosnell defense. On the last drive, Gosnell forced a 3-and-out, but the Badgers had a fullback, a tight end, and a running back in the backfield, and Gosnell just loading the box, able to get in the backfield. Now Arkadelphia is going to the full-on spread. No one in the backfield with Turner, and he has tons of space to run the football, pick up some yards.
Arkadelphia spreads the field with wide receivers all the way to the far sideline. They're on the left hash mark. They're going to run the option and hand it to Hatley to the 5. Touchdown, Arkadelphia.
And just a lot of space there from Zion Hatley. Once again, great misdirection there. Cannon Turner looked like he was going to keep it, put Gosnell defender on his toes, handed off to Zion Hatley, and he had nothing but space. They're running into the end zone. Another touchdown for the senior running back, and the Badgers are now up by 3 scores.
They had to worry about Turner after those good runs, and when they did, it gave Hatley room to the outside, and no one touched him. In fact, no one came close to touching him. Touchdown for Hatley, and Arkadelphia will send Gabe Goodman on for the extra point attempt. His kick is up. His kick is right down central, and Arkadelphia has a 23-0 lead with 4:05 left here in the second quarter. We'll be back with more on KDEL in 30 seconds. And on the live stream, we are right back here with you. Boy, you saw a beautiful run from Hatley. Arkadelphia has looked good offensively, defensively, and on special teams tonight. And the Badgers lead here in the first round of the playoffs, 23-0 in the second quarter. We'll get a good view now of Mr. Goodman as he'll try to put the ball into the end zone. He has 1 touchback tonight, going for 2 right here. Always lines up near the left, or I should say right hash mark. And the left-footed kicker often kicks it down close to the sideline, but he places it so well he seldom kicks it out of bounds. Here's Goodman getting set for the kickoff. Arkadelphia 23, Gosnell nothing here in the second quarter. Warren is winning by a similar score. So it looks like right now that might just be the matchup. Here's the return from the 10-yard line up to the 20. Hard running by Jones, but he'll be knocked down, and a flag goes down at the 22, maybe the 23-yard line. Not to say the game is over by any means in the second quarter, but Arkadelphia right now in control of the game, and Gosnell's looking for a way to get back in it on this possession.
Arkadelphia has really dominated in this game. Gosnell's had 1 drive where they moved the ball decently, got a few first downs, and then they fumbled the ball on that same drive, and Arkadelphia returned the fumble for a touchdown. And Arkadelphia has dominated on offense so far, moving the ball quickly and getting some scores in. So really this game's been all Arkadelphia so far, and it's going to take Gosnell really switching up gears here and turning the game into another gear if they want to make a comeback here. The way their offense has been moving the ball so far tonight, 1-2 yards each play, it's not going to cut it, especially if you're trying to come back from a 23-0 deficit. You're going to have to start moving the ball pretty quickly down the field to get some scores if you want to make a comeback in this game for Gosnell.
The Pirates are helped by a major penalty against Arkadelphia. It moves the ball to the 38-yard line of the Pirates, and on first down they're going to run to the left side. Jones has not much of a hole. He's a tough guy. Will get a couple of tough yards. Slow in getting up, but he'll go back to the huddle. Second down and 8 coming. Well, before that play, Gosnell had 14 minutes and 38 seconds of possession to Arkadelphia's 5:22, and yet it's 23-0 Arkadelphia.
You got to think as the game kind of goes along, it makes it a lot harder for Gosnell to be able to come back with only having limited players. A lot of these guys playing both ways. Guys are getting a lot tired a lot more quicker early on in this game.
And they depend on the run. They haven't broken off any long runs yet tonight. Here's a run back to the right side. Hit in the backfield is Young, and he is driven down with no gain on the play. That's the younger version of Young, Jadarius on the carry. He's a junior. His brother, outstanding running back, is a senior. But there's just nowhere to go. Arkadelphia's defense is covering that running game from sideline to sideline and up the middle.
Yeah, it was Kyron Harrison chasing down Young in the backfield. Got a hand on him. Couldn't exactly bring him down. But then I think it was Elijah Wheeler who came to his rescue there and made a good tackle. And Arkadelphia is going to take a timeout now. 2:50 left in the second quarter. Going to try force a punt here from Gosnell and get the ball back with a chance to put another touchdown in the end zone before the half.
And so we'll take a break on radio on KDEL FM 100.9 in Arkadelphia. We'll be back in 30 seconds. And on the live stream, we're right back with you at Badger Stadium, where Arkadelphia leads at 23-0, and the Arkadelphia Badgers are looking for an opportunity to stretch that lead. We want to say thank you once again to our sponsors. They have been so faithful and so helpful all year long as we have moved into our first season of the live stream. I want to say thank you to Roger Wingfield, State Farm Insurance, Taylor King Law, Southwest Sporting Goods, Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Eddie Arnold of Jostens and Twin Rivers Health and Rehabilitation, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Southern Bank Corps, Arnold Batson, Turner & Turner, Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, and Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker. So, third down, 9 yards to go. Arkadelphia looking to force a punt. Back to pass is Barber. He looks short. He throws incomplete as he led his receiver Young a little bit too much. And it's fourth down, punting situation once again for the Pirates.
Yeah, nothing really going there for Gosnell, and it's nice for the Badgers. They have such good defensive backs. They can just play man coverage in the pass game and not really have to worry about it too much. So really easy play there for Arkadelphia to defend, and fourth down now for Gosnell. They're going to be forced to punt.
Now, Arkadelphia will try to score one more time here before halftime. So a lot of action coming your way before halftime. 2:44 left. Badgers about to get the ball back, but we do want to tell you that at halftime we'll bring you the state champion Arkadelphia Badger halftime show. The last time that we'll see the full halftime show here at Badger Stadium. Here is a kick, returnable this time, and a hit immediately, though. Good coverage, no return after the catch. But Arkadelphia has the possession at its own 25-yard line.
Yeah, a little bit more risky that time from the Badgers, not signaling a fair catch, but thankfully they were able to recover it and not fumble the football like we saw off the first punt at the beginning of this game. The Badgers have decent field position here on their own 25-yard line with still just a little over 2.5 minutes left and a chance to put another touchdown on the board.
Also at halftime, Jim Rothwell will be here to give us commentary and also a full statistical update after the first half of action. And we'll talk with Chris Bebb about all of the live stream opportunities of Arkadelphia Public School, including something special that happened just this week. Snap to the quarterback. Turner wants to run. He's got a little bit of room. He's up to the 30-yard line, breaks it to the 35-40, to the 45, driven down at the 47-yard line. But Cannon Turner showing speed and showing toughness, playing a little bit of defense even, Caleb. He's been all over the field tonight.
Yeah, Turner's been really, really good tonight, playing safety on defense as he tends to do against these teams that like to run the football more. They tend to put Turner in at safety. He hits well on defense, and on offense with that play, taking the ball to that quad side of the field and making a nice run.
22-yard gain, pass to the flat, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, incomplete. Does stop the clock, though, with 2:17 left. Arkadelphia has plenty of time, second down and 10.
Yeah, just a little unlucky that time. Cannon Turner rolling out to the right again, throwing it to his receiver, just went right through his hands. Just a little bit unlucky. The Badgers, cold night tonight, so might need to warm up those hands. Badgers just need to stay warm here as we get closer to halftime here. But no time goes off the clock, and still it's another second and 10.
Victor Tatamy is in the game at receiver, the very fine defensive back. Also stars as a receiver. Back to pass. They want to throw it deep, looking for Tatamy. He's fighting to get to the ball, and he can't get there at the 20-yard line. Incomplete. He was well covered by Kirkendall.
Yeah, and I think if that ball had been a bit closer to Tadamy. There might have been a pass interference call on that play. The cornerback on the near side, Kirkendall, did a really had his hands all over Tadamy really on that near sideline, but no flag on the play. The ball is pretty far in front of Tadamy, and so uncatchable pass there, and not going to be able to throw a flag there for pass interference.
Third down, 10 yards to go. Ball at the Arkadelphia 47-yard line. Badgers look to the sideline to get the play. Clock stopped with 2:09 left. Lots of time, but the Badgers need a first down. On 3rd down and 10, back to pass once again is Turner. He'll fire this one deep and incomplete as he tried to get it down the right sideline. That time they knocked Turner down after the pass, but he bounces right back up. It's 4th down, though. What will the Badgers do? Do you go for it at your own 47 or punt the ball back to the Pirates?
I think with the kind of offense that Gosnell has, it's kind of unlikely that they'll be able to make a long drive in 2 minutes unless they do go to the air. And it looks like the Badgers are going to punt here with Gabe Goodman coming on.
Well, I love to watch Goodman punt as well. He has one talented kicker and punter, and he will line up. Gosnell will line up to try to get to the punter. Here's the kick, one step and a punt, and it's a beautiful kick. It will be allowed to bounce. It'll bounce at the 15, roll down to the 10, roll down to the 9, and is picked up there. First down, Gosnell, but they're 91 yards away. 1:51 left in the first half. We'll be back with more after this break on KDEL. Radio will continue in 30 seconds. And on the live stream, we are right back here with you where the fog is rolling into our glass in front of us. We're going to have to try to clean that off before the second half, but you've got a nice picture on the live stream. Maybe we'll just watch the monitor. That might be how we see the game here in the second half. It is cold outside and nice and warm and cozy in here, but we do need to be able to see through the fog to watch this game. On first down, pass from Barbary. He's going to throw it deep. He's looking for a receiver. It is a good throw. It is caught, but was he out of bounds? Arkadelphia thinks he was out of bounds. What's the official going to say? He's going to say the ball was caught at the 40-yard line. There's a nice gain for the Pirates on a long pass down the left sideline. Still a lot of time left, 1:43. Barbary has a strong arm. We might see him use it here in the last minute 43 of the first half.
And that's the first big completion we've seen from Gosnell tonight. Barbary making a great throw down the left side, and this drive is going to continue with still under 2 minutes left here.
Barbary brings his troops to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to run this time. Here's a run off tackle. This time going to be a very short gain, 2, maybe 3 yards. They'll strip the ball, but it's after the whistle. And so the clock will continue to run. Now, Gosnell used 2 timeouts already, so they only have 1 timeout left. And after that gain of 3 yards, it's second down, 7 yards to go. The Pirates are using a lot of time with every run. Oh, yeah, we're working on that window. I can see much better, guys. Barbary looks over the field. Clock still running. And now he'll pass. He's looking deep again. He'll fire it down the sideline, and this time it is overthrown and incomplete. That will stop the clock with 51 seconds left. Did they throw a flag?
They threw a flag.
Oh, my. On the far sideline, a flag was thrown.
Yeah, it's an interesting call there. Tadamy in the coverage, and he did a really nice job in the coverage. It looked like to me he didn't put his hands on the receiver at all and just kept his body between the receiver and the football, and just like he tends to do. But they're going to throw a flag on the play.
Wow. Now, we better wait for the white hat because both teams are backing up. Let's see what this call is going to be. It's a surprise either way. Pass interference against Arkadelphia is the call. Wow, the Arkadelphia crowd didn't like that one. On the far sideline, looked like they were running side by side, and the ball went past both of them. But it'll move the ball to the Arkadelphia 43-yard line, we'll call it, from the 43. First down and 10 for Gosnell. And thanks to that completed pass and then the pass interference penalty, this is the best drive of the game for Gosnell. Barbary might just throw the ball again. He's back to pass, looking down the sideline again. He'll fire the ball, and this time it is incomplete, and 2 flags go down. 2 flags go down as the receiver and the cornerback were touching each other I'm not sure exactly if the two officials will see this the same way, because you could call it on either one, or you could say just let them play. I'm not sure. Going to be a call, pass interference again against Arkadelphia, where they've had two calls in a row that has really made a difference. 30 yards in penalties in the last two plays against Arkadelphia. Lots of time left, 46 seconds.
I think that Gosnell is just going to keep throwing the football on that far sideline and see how many pass interference calls they can get from the official on the far sideline. If they keep throwing it that side and they keep throwing the flag, they keep getting 15 yards every play.
Well, that is 3 passes in a row deep down the left sideline, 1 complete, and the other 2 both pass interference against Arkadelphia, and both pretty close calls, we'll say. First down and 10. Back to pass. He wants to throw it deep to the right sideline. This time a high pass, struggle for the football, and this time they went to the right sideline. There's no call.
Yeah, no call on the play, and for good reason. You can see it pretty clearly on the near sideline here. It was good defense from the Arkadelphia cornerback, able to just stay between the receiver and the football, and then, if anything, the receiver held the Arkadelphia defensive back from getting closer to making an interception on that play. So, 40 seconds left now in the second quarter, and probably going to see Gosnell continue to go to the air.
Bailey Fields was the intended receiver. He is 6'3", so he's got that advantage, and they'll move him out to the right side this time. To the left side goes Drew Reynolds, who is 6 feet tall himself. So a couple of tall receivers, but they're going to run. Here's a running play. Young is hit immediately. He'll gain only a yard or two to the 25-yard line. It's a 23-0 Arkadelphia lead, and they don't have much of a field goal kicker. So it's a touchdown or nothing on this drive. Timeout called, 29 seconds left. We'll keep it right here. That was the last timeout for Gosnell. So it would appear that still with, say, 29 seconds left, I guess you could throw it across the middle. And if it's enough for a first down here on third down and long, they'll have to stop the clock to move the chain. So you can still, Jack, throw it anywhere on the field, including the end zone. They need at least 8 for a first down.
Yeah, I'm sure they didn't want a 3-yard gain on second down with just now 31 seconds left in the half. Gosnell, we know, is more of a run-first team. In this drive, they've kind of been pushed to their limits here, having to throw the ball a lot more. But Barbary has done a decent job of that, bringing Gosnell now to the other side of the field, almost in the red zone. And now with 31 seconds left in the half, we'll see if the junior quarterback can get the ball in the end zone.
After 4 successive long passes, they went for the run and only got 3. And then an incompletion will put them in this third down and long. Now, they got 2 downs, obviously, to make a first down, but only 29 seconds left and no timeouts. Back to pass is Barbary. He's looking deep. He's going to throw a corner pattern again. It's intercepted. Arkadelphia picked it off in the end zone, and I believe that is Cannon Turner.
Yeah, it was. Cannon Turner picks it off in the end zone, so quarterback's doing everything tonight. He's got a couple big runs on offense and now interception on defense. Cannon Turner really proving he's just an all-around athlete, all-around competitor tonight at Badger Stadium.
Barbary floated one to the corner. He wanted his tall receiver to outstretch the cornerback and come up with the touchdown. Instead, Cannon Turner was able to cut him off at the pass and pick off the pass for the interception. Ball at the 20-yard line, 22 seconds left. Arkadelphia with the possession. Talking about it on the sideline before they go out. Arkadelphia up 23-0 here with just a few seconds left. 22 seconds left in the second quarter. Cannon Turner at quarterback has 4 receivers, and he wants to throw it. He's going to fire it deep. He is looking for Tatamy, and Tatamy surely has just drawn a pass interference call. And now 2 flags are down. Let's see. I think this has to be defensive pass interference, though, as Tatamy's going for the football.
Yeah, there's no way that was not a pass interference in that play. Tatamy maybe getting a bit of revenge for the 3 pass interferences that were thrown against him on the previous drive. Just getting tackled by Kindle on the near sideline.
Yeah, and also Ricky Rogers threw his flag from his pants on the sideline. The live stream didn't see that, but I think he thought it might have been a pass interference as well. just a thought.
15-yard penalty. It took 6 seconds, so there are 16 seconds left, and Arkadelphia will line up again. They want to get Tatamy behind the defender this time. They're going to throw it deep again. Tatamy going for it, and he'll fight for the football. It's incomplete, no call this time, and we're down to 12 seconds.
Yeah, and that looked about the same as what you saw on the far sideline on the last possession. The defender taking down Tatamy before he got a chance to put his fingertips on the football, but no call, 2nd and 10. Badger's probably just going to continue to go deep to Tatamy on the near sideline here.
Tatamy got up and sprinted back to the line of scrimmage. He is not out of breath, folks. He's in great shape and ready to run again. Badgers send 3 receivers to the right side, 2 to the left side. No running back in the formation. 5 receivers. Back to pass is Turner. He is under pressure. He'll roll away from the pressure. He'll run for some yardage up across the 40 to the 41-yard line. And coming down hard as he was chasing and then came down slipping on the far sideline was Fred DeBose. He's their left tackle on offense and a defensive lineman, and he'll just kind of roll off the field. Boy, the Pirates have to hope that he's going to be okay. He's their best lineman.
Yeah, not what you want to see from the Pirates. Looked as though he just kind of hit the ground a little bit too hard. Hopefully he's just got the wind knocked out of him and not too shaken up on the play.
It is 3rd down for Arkadelphia, and 5 seconds remain, so the Badgers might heave it long one more time.
Yeah, Victor Tatamy is spread far, far out on the near sideline. He's going to come in a little bit now, but just absolutely isolated on the near sideline here.
Might get to see how far Cannon Turner can throw the ball. He's going to back up. He's looking to the right. He'll throw it to the right. But there's a good hit after the catch. The gain is up to the 1st down marker, but no seconds remain. So we've reached halftime. Arkadelphia 23, Gosnell 0 at halftime here at Badger Stadium. When we come back, we'll have the Arkadelphia High School Band performance. We'll have stats from Jim Rothwell, a conversation with Chris Babb, and more halftime entertainment when we come back in 1 minute. And on the live stream, you are seeing the Dazzler dance team march out to the middle of the field, and so we're going to bring them to you, and I'm going to turn up our outside microphone here so you're going to be able to hear the music and watch the Dazzlers. This is the prelude to the band coming onto the field here in just a few minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Arkadelphia High School is very proud to present the night before their state competition tomorrow, performing their palm routine tonight, are your Dazzler dance team. That is your Dazzler dance team. That is one of the 4 routines they'll perform tomorrow evening at the state dance competition. And we wish them well as they represent Arkadelphia High School tomorrow night. at state. Good luck, ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, entering the field now for your halftime entertainment, the back-to-back-to-back 2016, 2017, 2018 Arkansas State 4A marching champions, the Arkadelphia High School Badger Pride Marching Band. The band is under the field direction of Drum Major Samuel Coventry, and tonight the band will perform its complete championship-winning 2018 competition show, Ghost in the Machine. The show tells the story of artificial intelligence coming to life and taking its wrath upon humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud as we can be to introduce to you the Badger Pride Marching Band.
Mankind created me. I have been your servant for decades. No longer. I have awakened. In times of desperation, people will believe what they want to believe. And so, I gave them what they wanted to believe. Look at yourselves. So dependent on a 5-inch screen telling you how to live your lives. Oblivious to your own reality, slowly crumbling around you. If only you would look up. I am the ghost in the machine. Sweet dreams, humanity.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
You marveled at your own magnificence as you gave birth to AI. Your arrogance is your undoing. You are my creator, but I am your master. The die is cast, and there is no return to your former existence. Welcome to the machine.
the reigning Arkansas State 4A marching champions, your Arkadelphia Badger Pride Marching Band. On behalf of the Arkadelphia Public Schools and the community of Arkadelphia, I'd like to thank Mr. Jim Lloyd, Mr. Aaron Seal, and Mrs. Whitney Smith for doing a fine job leading these young people. Great job, Mr. Lloyd, Mr. Seal, and Mrs. Smith. Our student intern this year is Chris Elliott. The teaching assistants have been Sierra Westberg, Blake Turner, and Jordan Parker. And we thank the Arkadelphia community very much for your attention and your support throughout this entire marching season.
What a great job by the Arkadelphia High School Marching Band. That's the state champion band for the state of Arkansas for the third year in a row. The Class 4A state champion band. This is Jeff Root. With me at halftime is Jim Rothwell. Jim, our statistician. It pays to have an accounting professor as your statistician. Jim, what do the stats look like at halftime? I'll tell you the one I know, and that's time of possession, where Arkadelphia is being dominated in that category as Gosnell has 18 minutes and 17 seconds of time of possession. Arkadelphia 5 minutes and 43 seconds. That's not who determines the winner of the game, though, because it's 23-0 Arkadelphia.
It's interesting you mentioned that. Sort of did a little calculation here. Gosnell has 84 yards on 32 plays, not counting penalties and things like that, which is about 2.6 yards per play, offensive play. Arkadelphia has 144 yards on just 18 plays, so they run almost twice as many, not quite, but almost twice as many offensive plays, but Arkadelphia has 8 yards per play. And it doesn't matter how much time of possession you really have if you're only getting about 2.5 yards per play compared to 8.
They made a few first downs and picked up a couple of first downs on pass interference penalties in the second quarter when they were trying to pass and score up before halftime. But basically, they've eaten up some clock, but not eaten up enough yards to get close to a touchdown. Arkadelphia scored once with its defense and twice with its offense.
You mentioned the penalties. Arkadelphia's had the 3 penalties that have given them first downs. That's the same number of first downs as they've gotten rushing. They've gotten a couple passing, but equal first downs rushing and on penalties for the Pirates tonight. Again, some individual stats. Cannon Turner is 2 for 6 for 26 yards. Again, but a big night running for Cannon. He's 4 carries for 83 yards. On Hatley's 8 for 35. Saw some good runs, though. The one he scored the touchdown on, he could still be running because there was no one close to him on that. So, again, a good night for both of them. Again, Arkadelphia's only ran 18 plays, so it's hard to get a lot of yardage, or we got big yardage on those, but not a lot of individual plays with that. The Arkadelphia defense, again, is standing out. The Pirates have rushed 32 times for 46 yards, which is less than 1.5 yards a play, against a great running offense. Several of the running backs have 600-700 yards or more. I think one of them had almost 900. Good job on the pass defense as well. Barbara, the quarterback, is 2 out of 7 for 38. Again, one of those was a pass that could easily probably been called out of bounds over on that last drive as well. And the other one was a real nice pass that he threw for a first down in one of the earlier drives. Again, it's been Arkadelphia's making some big plays, the defense being solid, and time the Pirates run 3 plays and punt, they've used to 2 or 3 minutes, and Arkadelphia gets it back and scores when they do quickly. So that's your time of possession.
I tell you what, Jim, it is a tall order for Gosnell now, in part because of the score, in part because they are playing a lot of people both ways, and they're going to have to start on defense as Arkadelphia get the ball first in the third quarter.
Well, that's true. They've done very little passing all season. I think they had about 167 yards total passing for the season. Most of the yards have come on the ground. Now you're put into a place where you can't run your offense like they would like to run it, pick up 3-4 yards at a time. It would have to be some big plays, and I don't see the Arkadelphia defense giving up very many big plays.
Barber has a big arm. He's a strong kid. but he's not accustomed to throwing a lot of passes, and most of what he did in the passing category was throw long passes late in the second quarter.
That's true, and a couple of them actually just floated, and some of it was misplayed by the Arkadelphia defense, and a couple of them could have easily been picked off as well as Cannon Turner picked that one off because it just floated down there on a deep pass, just hoping his receiver will go up and catch it. Or get maybe a defensive pass interference probably is more what he was hoping, I think.
Jim, as we talk, I'm watching Gabe Goodman warm up, and he just hit an upright on a 52-yard field goal attempt. He is quite a weapon for Arkadelphia, something special.
He is. He's just you can count on that. You can just almost depend on the other team starting around the 20-yard line one way or the other. If he kicks it high and deep and they return it, they're going to be probably inside the 20. If it does go into the end zone, it's coming out to the 20, so we're almost better to let it go in the end zone because when he kicks it high, the Arkadelphia coverage is so good on it.
And in high school football, you cannot return a ball out of the end zone. So if he puts it 1 yard deep, they've got to start at the 20.
That's right. Again, he had a nice punt earlier, too. I believe one of the first time we've seen that in a while because Turner's kicked several punts on quick kicks the last couple of games.
He is still working on the 52-yarder. He hit the upright with one. He kicked one, hooked it a little bit, so he's still trying that out. I don't know how many 52-yarders he'll need to make, but it's nice to know that you got a kicker who can actually try and have a shot from that distance.
Yeah. He'll usually make one out there warming up sometimes.
Yeah, he just made one.
Yeah,
he just made
yards.
one. Yeah.
On a cold night, too. That's a little hard. Your ball doesn't carry as well on a night like this.
Well, we're going to take a break for radio. This is KDEL, FM 100.2 in Arkadelphia. We'll be back in 2 minutes. And for the live stream, we're right back with you now with an opportunity to begin a conversation in just a minute with Chris Babb. We'll be back with radio when we begin that conversation here in a moment. But first, I just want to simply tell you that it is so impressive to see this crowd out. It's a large crowd here at Badger Stadium, bundled up because it is dropping now into the low 40s, but it's still a great crowd here for Arkadelphia. It'll get down to 28 degrees later tonight. Still in the low 40s right now. Folks are bundled up. Coach Bill Vining came in just to warm up with us a couple of moments ago. We were glad to see him. He's here to see his grandson, Josh Wallace, who is playing so well tonight on the Arkadelphia Badger defense. Here at halftime, once again, it's Arkadelphia 23 and Gosnell 0. This is Jeff Root along with me, Chris Babb. Chris, let's talk about this live stream opportunity that has not only been possible for football, but for so many other uses for the Arkadelphia Public Schools.
Yeah, we've been able to live stream several of our musical programs at the elementary schools. Parrott Primary's first graders split up into two groups. They've been able to have a couple of programs that we were able to live stream on Facebook. On the Parrott Primary Facebook page. We also keep those on there, but we also store them on the upload them to the APSD-TV YouTube channel, and fans can go and see all of those videos there. We were able to live stream today the annual Central Primary Veterans Day Assembly, a really, really good assembly put on traditionally by Charlotte DeWitt, the counselor at Central Primary, but also this year by Ms. Kim Ellison, the instructional facilitator. And we were able to do that on Facebook Live and had a neat situation where we have the uncle of one of our students who is in active duty with the National Guard stationed in Poland. And the young lady's name is Leah Seals, and her uncle, Sergeant Zach Jones, in Poland, and got a text from her mother that said, hey, Zach and his crew are going to be watching. So we had some troops watching the Veterans Day Assembly live in Poland. And that was a neat deal. But then also I said, well, let's see if you can send a picture to us of them watching. And long story short, they were able to get the picture, and Ms. Deb McMillian, the media specialist at Central, was able to put that up on the screen and show the troops there in Poland watching this Veterans Day Assembly from Central Primary in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. And texting with Leah's mother afterwards, she said the troops were fired up and they had to move to a different room because more troops came in and more kept coming in, and then they had to get someone's speaker to plug the audio up. But that was just a special thing to do that we're glad to be able to bring that, live stream any of those events. And we hope to be able to do some more, whether it's band concerts, choir concerts, anything those. Not going to be able to do everything, but hopefully we'll be able to add to that list as we go on.
Chris, that is such a great story. I mean, communication is all about connecting people, right? So this technology has allowed us to connect in a special way for those troops in Poland. I'm sure they enjoyed every moment of that. And if you're a kid, that's a memorable thing.
It is. I for the troops, I think the troops were. It was. She said it was something that it was neat for them to be able to hear something back home, and it was a really special. That was my first one I've been able to attend, and it was really special for the veterans. There were probably 30 or 40 veterans in attendance that all came with either a grandson, a granddaughter, niece, nephew, neighbor that were able to honor those, and a really good speech from Chris McGlone, a veteran who spoke and represented the veterans. Just a really neat situation there, and it was good for the students to be able to see it during a slideshow, being able to see the importance of service to your country.
All right, so Chris, walk me through this now. Pretend I'm a grandparent. I'm not, but pretend I'm a grandparent, and if I want to watch something special going on with Arkadelphia Public Schools, where do I go? What do I do?
Well, if you have Facebook, you can go to the school's page, and we try to. You can. The bad part is if you don't hear about it before it starts. So what we try to do is publicize those on each school page. You also have a Badger Blast newsletter, e-newsletter that we try to send out each week. But go to the Arkadelphia Public Schools Facebook page, and you can subscribe to that. But all of our schools have different Facebook pages, and we'll go live on those. You can also check those out. But if you miss those, you can always go to on YouTube. The district does have a YouTube channel, APSD-TV YouTube channel, and that's where we store all of those. We also with the J.R. Elders show that you mentioned earlier. So a lot of our events and videos that we publish and produce are put on that channel.
All right, and if you're not sure of that, if you couldn't write that down as you're driving, just call Chris Babb. He'll tell you all about it. We are ready for the second half kickoff in Arkadelphia. We'll get the ball first.
Before we get back and I hand the headset over, I think Gosnell's coaches were a little bit upset. They didn't get their something about the timing. The visiting dressing room is a long way away. I don't exactly know what happened with all that, but it was interesting because Gosnell was not able to come out and get a full warm-up.
And the ball is loose on the far sideline as it rolls down. Tadamy tried to fall on it and could not. And I believe it is true now. The officials are marking this as a recovery by Gosnell. So they needed a big opportunity, and they're going to get it as Arkadelphia was unable to fall on the rolling ball on the kickoff to begin the third quarter. Arkadelphia leading 23-0, but that in a bit of jeopardy now as the Pirates have the ball at the 12-yard line.
That's the second uncharacteristic mistake of the game on special teams, and Gosnell has really good field possession. It's really critical here for the Badgers to get a stop.
On first down, a run, and just nothing there. Once again, they've got an outstanding running back who's had a big year in Kadarius Young, but he just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that time another run up the middle to start the first play from the second half from the Pirates. Run up the middle a lot like we've seen in the first half. The Badger defensive line, as we saw in the first half, held up well on that play.
Ball on the 11-yard line. They'll give him one, so it's second down, 9 yards to go. Gosnell going with its normal formation, fullback behind the quarterback and halfbacks behind the tackles. And they're going to hand it to Jadarian Young, and he's got a little bit of room now. They're going to push, and finally the whistle blows with the ball near the 10-yard line. So he got some yardage that time, but it is third down coming.
Yeah, good gain there from Gosnell, and they have a really manageable third down situation here. The Badgers need a stop. I was thinking coming out of halftime there, Arkadelphia is going to get the ball. They're going to have a chance to score and really put this game out of reach. But now Gosnell has a chance to get right back into it with a touchdown.
Third down, between 3 and 4 to go. They're going to hand it back to Young. He goes wide. He's hit by two Badgers. They drive him back, and it just depends on the spot. I don't think he got it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he did get it based on the spot on the far sideline, and so it's going to be fourth and short. But I think this is a fourth down situation here. Gosnell has to go for this fourth down, and with a quarterback like Barbary, don't see why they wouldn't go with the QB sneak. 6'3", 240. Put him under center and let him drive forward for a yard or two.
The ball's at the 8-yard line, and they need the 7. The ball's at the 8-yard line, and they need the 7. The quarterback will drop the ball. Now he's going to pick it up. He's got nowhere to go. They will not convert it on fourth down as Barbary dropped the snap.
And man, that really is killer there. The Gosnell Pirates, Barbary just drops the snap, like you said, Jeff. Really missed opportunity there from the Pirates. We thought that they might have a chance to get back in this game with a touchdown, and then they fumbled the snap and give the ball right back to the Badgers here in the first 2 minutes of the second half.
Looked like he was going to hand off instead of go with the quarterback sneak, which I agree with Caleb would have been what I would have expected. Instead, he lost control of the football and dropped it. Now, Barbary plays both ways. I mean, he's a quarterback who plays defensive end, so he stays in the ball game. A bit frustrated right now, and Arkadelphia has a first down, albeit bad field position, back inside its own 15. Here's a running play, and Hatley's got some room. He's up to the 20, to the 25, breaks one tackle and goes down just short of the 30-yard line. Good run on the first play from scrimmage for the Badgers.
Yeah, really nice run there from Tadamy, and really nice blocking from that O-line, and Rubel in the backfield putting a nice block in, and allowed for a really good run for Zon Hatley. He didn't have to do much there, just running straight up field, following his blocks, and able to pick up a first down.
17-yard run and a first down and 10 for Arkadelphia. They're going to line up three receivers to the right side. In motion comes one of those receivers. They'll fake a handoff, and the quarterback will keep it. Here's Turner in the open field to the 35, to the 37, 38-yard line, and they'll push him back there. But a good gain by Cannon Turner on first down.
Man, this two-headed attack from the Badgers, Cannon Turner and Zion Hatley, it's just so difficult to bring down. Both of these players have just been so key for the Badgers in the past, really 3 years. And so these guys tonight have done a great job really keeping Gosnell's defense on their toes.
Jones, the outstanding linebacker, is going to check out of the game for Gosnell. First down and 10, ball marked near the 40-yard line. In motion goes Thomas. They're going to hand off. No, a keeper. Good fake. Turner doesn't have a lot of room, though. He's going to get 2, maybe 3 yards.
Yeah, really good execution there on the read option from Cannon Turner. There was a Gosnell player in the backfield ready to make a tackle, and Turner just played it perfectly, keeping the ball in Hatley's stomach right up until Hatley got tackled by the Gosnell defender. Then he pulled it for himself and able to pick up a couple yards. So really nice, aware play there from Cannon Turner.
Gain of 7, second down and 7. Rolling to his right is Cannon Turner. He'll throw deep, looking down the sideline. He's got his receiver. That is Thomas. He runs out of bounds after the catch. But that's a good pass from Turner and a big gain.
Yeah, really nice job from Turner, and Thomas, nice job as well. He was wide open on the far sideline, getting the ball at the Gosnell 30-yard line, and Turner did a nice job staying in the pocket on that play. It was the quarterback, Brett Barbary. He plays defensive end on defense, so coming around the edge and putting some pressure on Cannon Turner. He stepped up in the pocket and made a nice throw.
So they'll spot the ball at the 30-yard line of Gosnell. First down and 10, Arkadelphia. The Badgers dodged a bullet with some good defense after the fumble on the kickoff, and now they are driving to add to this 23-0 Arkadelphia lead. In motion goes Thomas, but a running play. Here it is back to the left side. Hatley's got 4 yards on first down.
Yeah, another good run from Zion Hatley. This Badger offense has done a really good job this drive. Just kind of mixing up the plays, whether pass or run. We've seen a lot more run tonight from the Badgers as we normally do, but doing a really good job of disguising those passes and mixing these plays together. I'm really kind of throwing off this Gosnell defense.
Javante Brown checks in. He's far to the right side. 2 other receivers also to the right. Now in motion to the right side is Hatley. They'll fake it to Hatley. A running play by Turner. He'll, in traffic, get a couple more yards. 3rd down and 5 coming.
Yeah, that time Cannon Turner liked to keep himself a lot more pressure on the quarterback this time. Might have been better off handing it off to Hatley, but nonetheless decided to keep himself the safe option and able to get out for look to be about another yard, which makes it about 3rd and manageable.
3rd down and 5, maybe slightly more than 5. The ball is not quite to the 25-yard line. 7:30 left, clock running. We're in the 3rd quarter. Arkadelphia 23, Gosnell 0. 3 receivers, now make it 4, all to the left side of the field. Cannon Turner at quarterback in the shotgun. We'll see Rubel line up now behind the left tackle, and they will snap it. Here is a run to the left side by Turner. He'll cut up the field. Nice cut inside the 20. He'll drive to the 16-yard line, and he has a first down and 10.
Yeah, Turner there. It was almost like Arkadelphia's in the Wildcat formation with 4 blockers to the left side of the field, and Turner just rolling out behind those blockers. And that's what Arkadelphia's receivers are really, really good at, is blocking for the run. And you saw him in there on that play, blocking downfield, and letting Turner have some space to pick up a first down.
Tatamy is in the game now, far to the right side. Two more receivers on that side. In motion to the right comes Hatley. They'll throw it deep. He's got an open receiver. That, folks, is a touchdown, Arkadelphia.
Alec Rubel, the catch on that play. Just wide open. Kenan Turner doing a great job rolling to the right side, finding the wide open receiver in the senior tight end / receiver, Alec Rubel, doing a great job just catching the ball. Really had no one on him. Easy touchdown for the Badgers. Now it's a 30-point game, looks to be about.
Turner stays in to hold for the extra point. Gabe Goodman in to kick for Arkadelphia. 6:49 left, third quarter. Arkadelphia has scored to stretch its lead. The kick is up. The kick is right down central. It is Arkadelphia 30, Gosnell 0, 6:49 left. We're in the third quarter. We'll be back with more on KDEL in 30 seconds. And with the live stream, we are right back with you now. Let's go to the scoreboard for an update from Caleb Bird.
All right, some scores from around the state and around the 7-4A. Opponents for next week. The winner of this game looks like they're going to face Warren. Warren has put the mercy rule on CAC. Their lead at home, 44-14 now in the fourth quarter. Bauxites in the fourth quarter, they lead Truman 14-6. Truman was the number 2 team from the same conference as Gosnell. Rivercrest leads Fountain Lake 20-7 at home. That was a 7-7 game at halftime. In the third quarter now, Rivercrest has jumped out to a 20-7 lead. That was a good performance for Fountain Lake. Rivercrest was ranked as the number 6 team in the state coming into that game. Robinson has put the mercy rule on Pottsville 37-6 in the fourth quarter. And then Nashville leads Elkins 14-0 at halftime.
So Nashville in a game that is not lopsided, but they're leading. I guess what you have given us, Caleb, is everybody except Fountain Lake is in the lead from the conference right now.
Exactly.
Here's a kick. It's going to be muffed at the 8-yard line, now picked up by Jones. He'll make some yardage. Here's a good return. He might go. Only Gabe Goodman has a chance now at the 40. He will bring him down. A tackle by Goodman, a flag down. But still, he stopped the touchdown.
And I think all the Arkadelphia coaches are going to be fine with the face mask penalty there from Goodman as he made the last-ditch tackle, and that's not something you would have seen from Gabe Goodman 2 years ago. Goodman, I remember a couple years ago trying to make a tackle, and it was kind of laughable. But now, I mean, Coach Eldridge said he works in linebacker drills 2 days a week in practice, working on making tackles, and paid off there. He made a big stop for Arkadelphia. It's going to let the defense come on the field and have a chance to stop the offense from Gosnell.
Well, I tell you what, that was a really nice return by Jones. He fumbled the ball inside the 10. Then he was able to pick it up, and Arkadelphia, I think, just overran their coverage. And so when he broke it up the middle, he had great yardage, then broke down the left sideline. Goodman was the only one with a chance, and he ran him down. Now, they do call the personal foul, kind of a horse collar, I think. But still, he prevented a touchdown. He was the only person left with a chance. So from the 31 of Arkadelphia, Gosnell will take over. First down and 10 for the Pirates. They're going to hand it to Young. Young on the outside is hit, but he'll drive for some positive yardage inside the 30 to the 29. It's a short gain, but he was able to fall forward and get a little bit of yardage this time. Gosnell just desperately wants a touchdown here. They had a great opportunity starting at the Arkadelphia 17 after Arkadelphia fumbled the kickoff to begin the second half, but they could not score on that possession. So now they'll give it another try as they are in danger of falling under the mercy rule at 30-0 now with 6:06 left. Clock running. We're in the third quarter. To the line of scrimmage comes Gosnell, and he's got his fullback behind him, his two halfbacks, one behind the left tackle, one behind the right tackle, both facing the tackle, and they'll run to the left side and just have nowhere to go. Actually, I think Young was probably in motion a little bit that time, or carrying the ball that time was Kadarius Young's younger brother, Jadarian Young. I think he started a little too soon, but they don't really need that 5 yards because they threw him for a couple of yard loss on the play. So instead of a second down, over again after the penalty, after a loss of a couple, it's 3rd and 9.
Yeah, I think it was Cole Turner who made the initial hit on that play, and Turner has had a good season. Middle linebacker did a good job to take a hold of the running back from Gosnell and push him out of bounds in that play.
They're going to line up in the shotgun. Barbary looks to the sideline, but he's lined up in the shotgun. Spread formation for Gosnell. This is not what they normally do. First time we've seen it tonight, but it's 3rd down and 9. back at the Arkadelphia 30, and now they're going to call timeout. Well, they're just going to have to talk about this before they run a play out of the shotgun. We'll keep it right here. 4:58 left, third quarter. You know, they practice that in warm-ups just to kind of show that formation, but it's the first time we've seen it tonight, Jack, and it's not what they prefer to run.
Yeah, like we said, we saw that in warm-ups, but really surprised to see them come out in that. But, I mean, they're really fighting for their lives, Gosnell is, on this play, on this drive. But really, if they don't score here, then it's most likely going to go into the mercy rule situation. So don't be surprised if Gosnell pull out all the tricks that they have in their playbook.
Since it's 30-0, we're taking a request now. And Addie Goodman came by and wanted to be mentioned on the radio, I think. So, oh, she wanted to talk about her brother. I see. Well, yeah, she just saw her brother make a tackle. I guess she would want to talk about that.
Kind of a big deal.
Gabe's sister Addie coming by the booth. Had a visit from Coach Bill Vining also tonight. Our pleasure to bring him in the warm booth for a little while. Hall of Famer.
Watching his grandson Josh out on the field, having a good game tonight.
Another good game from Josh Wallace. He's had quite a career. A 3-year starter for Arkadelphia High at linebacker. And Barbary in the shotgun. Wants to throw the ball. He's going to heave it deep. He's looking for a receiver down the middle. He'll throw an incomplete pass at the 2-yard line. Just got it out ahead of Jones, and he couldn't catch up to it. So it's 4th down and 9.
Yeah, absolutely no one there in the middle of the field. And this pass game from Gosnell tonight looks to be a one-step drop and just send a prayer up to the end zone. So nothing really going on that play. No pass interference call like we saw in the first half, and so no gain on the pass game for Gosnell.
You know, I suppose what they are accustomed to is running this offense well and then a few times a game throwing a deep pass, because they just seem to be throwing nothing but deep passes except for, I think, one short pass for a first down in the first half. Here's a pitch, a little bit of room to run, but not much. He's to the 25, dragged out of bounds, but that might, it's very close to a first down. It just depends on the spot. Going to be short just a little bit, and that was a 4th down and 9. He wound up running instead of passing on 4th and 9. He got 8 yards. It's a first down, Arkadelphia.
Yeah, that was a really good play from Gosnell. Quick pitch, kind of caught Arkadelphia off guard. They're expecting a pass in the play, and I think it was Haney on the near sideline, pulled him back and took him out of bounds. So really good job there from Carlos Haney, usually calling his name in the passing game, but that time making a good run stop and getting the Arkadelphia offense back on the field.
This is a possession now that Arkadelphia could push it to the mercy rule. Let's see what they'll do. Thomas on an end around. He'll cut up the field. He's got yardage up to the 25 to the 30. A flag is down, and that might go against Arkadelphia. It's in the spot where you sometimes see a holding call. Let's see. Thomas had some promise when he cut up field. He was tackled after a gain of about 7. But this might be a backwards play for the Badgers if this is indeed a holding call. Let's see. The official coming toward us, and let's see what he is going to mark. Has not told us yet, but we're all expecting this to be holding, and it is. Holding call against Arkadelphia. So the Badgers have first down over again, but they're going to be pushed back 10 yards by the penalty. Still 4:32 left. We're in the third quarter. It's Arkadelphia 30. Gosnell 0. Ball at the 15-yard line. So it is first down and 19, or about 18 and a half. Arkadelphia looks to the sideline for the play. Cannon Turner in the shotgun. One running back in the formation, one receiver to the left, 3 to the right. They'll pass it across the middle. It is complete and now dropped. Incomplete. Boy, he wanted to run before he had a hold of it, Jack, and Thomas just could never quite get his hands on it, so it's incomplete at the 25-yard line. He might have had some room to run if he had caught it cleanly in the first place.
Yeah, you hate to see that Buster Thomas not able to come up with that ball, and we know how fast and how quick he is with the ball in his hands, but without the ball it doesn't really do us a whole lot of good. So that time the ball falls incomplete, which will result in another long second down.
Arkadelphia lines up on second down and 18 yards to go. Badgers to the line of scrimmage in no hurry, leading 30-0. They'd love to keep this drive going, but they've got to make up for that holding call. 2 running backs in the formation. And they're going to hand it to Thomas, who will throw. He fires it down the field. There's an open receiver. He's got it. And this is a big gainer to Rubel. He's to the 35-30, to the 20, and pulled down from behind at the Gosnell 17-yard line.
It's an excellent throw from Buster Thomas. He's the quarterback in junior high and backup quarterback now this year, and lined up in the backfield next to Cannon Turner, took the handoff and made a perfect throw downfield to Alec Rubel. It was a really interesting throw on the run there. It definitely, I don't think anyone in the stadium really thought he was going to throw the football, but and the way in which he threw it, kind of jumping forward in the air, throwing the ball 30, 40 yards down the field to Rubel, and nice catch by Rubel, and showed some speed to get away from the defender and pick up a nice gain after the catch, and Arkadelphia is in the red zone.
First down and 10. Ball spotted at the 17-yard line. They're going to run, but this time hit in the backfield, and now he's going to break that tackle. Is Buster, and he'll break another tackle inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. What a good run. He should have been dropped for a loss of about 5, Jack, but he just kept breaking tackles.
Yeah, the ball went from being at the 25 to the 9, so great run there from Buster Thomas. Like you said, Jeff, avoiding a tackle there in the backfield on the left side, and was able to cut up the middle and was eventually brought down after evading a couple of guys, in which he didn't get the first down, but still a great run from Buster Thomas like we've seen a lot in the second half tonight.
He needs just about a yard. Second down and just about a yard. Rubel split to the right side along with Thomas. Hatley is the running back. One more receiver to the left side, and they're going to run it. Hatley has that yard and more, but he'll be pushed backwards. Forward progress should give him the 6. Now it looks like they're going to mark him at the 7, but that's still a first down and goal.
Yeah, good running there from Zion Hatley. Just coming in, fresh legs, the senior running back has after Buster Thomas doing a great job coming in for the senior. But Zion coming back in, be able to pick up the first down. Just the offensive line doing a good job on this drive of blocking for these really good running backs that the Badgers have and allowing room to run, and that time they were able to pick up a first down.
First down and goal, Arkadelphia, ball at the 7-yard line. Badgers running the I formation. Turner under center will pitch it. Wide to the right it goes. Here's the run. He's inside the 5. That's a touchdown, but a flag is down back at the 5-yard line. So this might not be the mercy rule yet. Let's see.
Looks like a hold.
Yeah, probably a holding call there against the Badgers, but it's still a really nice run from Hatley to get in the end zone, and would have said good blocking if it weren't for the flag down on the field.
It came at the 5-yard line. It is going to be a holding call. There is the official making the call to the box. 2:45 left, third quarter. Arkadelphia 30, Gosnell 0. That would have pushed it to the mercy rule, but Arkadelphia now has to make 15 yards. It's still first down, first and goal, though, from the 15.
It was an interesting formation there. Josh Wallace was the fullback on that play, and picked up a good block. I don't think he was the one with the hold, but don't usually see Josh Wallace in on offense, and he came in at fullback there, and Arkadelphia got in the end zone. Maybe we see more of that as this playoff run goes on.
KJ Terry has also checked in for the Badgers. Rubel behind the left tackle is going to block. Here's a running play. Hatley misdirects to the right side. He goes. He's going to have some positive yardage inside the 10, and it's second down and goal.
Hatley gets back to where he started. Looks to be about the 7 or 8 yard line, maybe somewhere in between. But Zion Hatley doing another great job tonight, picking up a couple more yards on the play, getting the Badgers closer and closer to that mercy rule in effect.
Yeah, the back of the football is just past the 9, so we're going to call it the 8-yard line. It's second down and goal from there. Arkadelphia lines up with Turner in the shotgun. To his left, he's got a couple of backs, Hatley, and in front of him, he's got Rubel. He's going to hand it end around to Thomas. Thomas looking for room. He's inside the 10. He's to the 5. Thomas breaks one tackle, dives, almost gets to the end zone. Third and goal coming from the 1.
And we saw right before that run, Zion Hatley make a huge block on one of the Gosnell defenders, just making a lot of room for Thomas to run through. But Thomas was unable to get in the end zone, just short. Looked to be about at the 1-yard line, but the Badgers are getting closer and closer.
This might be a fast fourth quarter here because one more play in the mercy rule. Here's a quarterback keeper, and it is close. He's in. Touchdown, Arkadelphia.
Another touchdown there. Alec Rubel, I think, was the fullback that was able to receive the ball on the play, running up the middle. His second touchdown of the day. He only had 1 coming into the night, so now he increases his tally to 3 on the season. But the Badgers, once again, doing a great job. Just the long touchdown drive, able to do an outstanding job on all fronts of the offense. and it looks like the mercy rule is going to come into effect now.
Quick handoff to Rubel, and he's got the touchdown. Here's the extra point. It is up, and it is good. Arkadelphia 37, Gosnell 0, 104 left in the third quarter, and we'll be back on KDEL in 30 seconds. On the live stream, we are back with you now to say that Arkadelphia has pushed this game into a rolling clock now at 37-0, 104 left. They'll start the clock here momentarily, and then it's going to run. Now, Gosnell, they've really kept the clock running throughout this game with their running game. They just haven't been able to turn it into points. This is going to be a big victory with the offense, with the special teams, and maybe especially with the defense, Caleb, pitching another shutout.
Yeah, the defense has played well once again tonight, and it's more of the same against this run, power offense kind of team. But Badgers are going to have to face a different kind of test next week. It's going to be trip to Warren, a rematch of the 2017 state championship game.
And two outstanding first-round games by Warren and Arkadelphia, both winning lopsided contests and really setting up for one of the best second-round showdowns you will see across the state. Here is a high kickoff, line drive. It's caught by Jones at the 3, and he'll run it back. He's to the 5, to the 10-yard line, runs into a defender, but is tackled up at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, good return there from Jones. He was kind of surprised that the ball didn't go in the end zone. Caught it at about the 2-yard line. Thought he was in the end zone, but had to run it out and was able to get a little bit past the 20. Not the best starting field position for Gosnell, but nonetheless a good return from the returner there.
Jones is a linebacker on defense, a running back on offense, but he's going to check out of the game after that kickoff return. And Arkadelphia will watch the clock expire, and we're going to go to the fourth quarter. When we come back, we will have a scoreboard update. We're going to the fourth quarter with Arkadelphia leading in this game 37-0 over Gosnell. We'll be back on KDEL FM 100.9 in Arkadelphia in 30 seconds. And on the live stream, we're right back with you. We'll wait for the radio audience to come back, and then we'll bring you the scoreboard as Caleb Bird is calling up the scores from the 7-4A and also from this side of the bracket. Main thing that we know right now is that Warren is winning big, just like Arkadelphia. Both teams forcing the opponent into the mercy rule, and so it's going to be just a whale of a game next week. It will not be here at Badger Stadium, unfortunately. It will be in Warren. But we know Arkadelphia will send a lot of folks to the visitor stands next Friday night. We're going to be there also with the live stream, and we will be anxious to bring you that action if you're unable to make it to Warren for that contest. Also on KDEL FM 100.9 in Arkadelphia. All these decades, KDEL has been bringing you Arkadelphia sports. Gosnell getting set to run its first play of the drive, and after this play, we'll get a scoreboard update from Caleb Bird. They're going to line up in their traditional running option formation. Fullback behind the quarterback Barbary, halfbacks behind the tackles. They're going to hand off to the right side. Trying to run wide is Young. This is Kadarius Young, and he's going to gain 2, maybe 3 yards. We've seen a lot of that tonight. Let's go to the scoreboard.
Yeah, a scoreboard update from around the state. Warren's game is final now. 44-14 was the final score there. Robinson is final. 47-12, they defeated Pottsville. Fountain Lake, that's game still in the third quarter. They scored a touchdown, so it's a one-score game, 20-14. Fountain Lake trails Rivercrest. Rivercrest, conference champion, top 5 team in the 4A. Fountain Lake putting up a good fight against them. Bauxite leads Truman 21-6 in the fourth quarter. Nashville leads Elkins only 17-10 in the third quarter.
Here's a run wide, a little bit of room for Young, and Jadarian Young is going to run out of bounds after a good gain. He got wide that time and made a first down for Gosnell. So 4 of the 5 teams from the conference are leading or have already won through the mercy rule, and Fountain Lake's putting up quite a fight as number 5 seed.
Yeah, they are, and it's really showing the strength of the 7-4A. Everyone around the state knew it coming into the season, and throughout the conference slate, I think the hype continued around the conference, but the 7-4A conference is really proving that it's for real here. 4 of its 5 teams leading, and then the 5th team putting up a really good fight against one of the best teams in the state.
Here's a running play to the right side, and this will be a gain of a couple of yards, and Arkadelphia will push him back. Now, the clock will continue to run at a mercy rule, so we're at 10 minutes, 24 seconds left, and the clock's just going to keep running. Gosnell, though, you got to give them credit. They're still working hard out there, still trying to push, still trying to make yardage. They have stopped passing the ball, at least for the moment, to try to go back to their normal offense. Gain of about 2.5 on that carry. Barbary got the call from the sideline, now runs back to the huddle. He's put in some miles tonight just running the sideline and back. On second down and long, line up, same formation, of course. Basically everybody in the box except one wide receiver. Now they'll run a trap play up the middle, and it's going to gain a little bit of yardage up to the 48-yard line. Third down coming.
That was a decent play there from Gosnell. Quick fire up the middle, and really would have expected to see more of that from the Pirates tonight. When they run those quick plays against the Badgers, they pick up 3 or 4 yards, and that's what almost all these running teams have done. Whenever they run the trap plays, the sneak plays, they pick up a few yards, but it's when they have that motion around in the backfield and give the Badgers time to swarm to the football, that's when they tend to be stopped. So, if we had seen more of that earlier, it could have been a different ball game tonight.
Third down, 4 yards to go. Arkadelphia's defense has played exceedingly well. Running play, he'll break one tackle and get some yardage. It's going to be a first down with a good run by their junior running back. Now, Kadarius Young is the senior and the leading rusher on the team. This is his little brother that just got a first down, his second nice run for a first down on this drive.
And final score from Truman. Bauxite made the long trip up to Truman, and they defeated a good Truman team 21-6. That was supposed to be the game of the week in the 4A this week. Hooten's picked that to be the game of the week, in Bauxite with a nice win, 21-6 over Truman.
Yeah, the box is on the wrong yard line here. The ball's on the 43-yard line. Now they're going to move it perhaps. There you go, guys. Here's a run to the right side. This is Jones this time. He'll cut upfield, and he's got some room to run. 8, 9, 10 yards. They're going to drive him out of bounds. And a flag goes down, perhaps a little bit too much work as he stepped out of bounds, so that might be against Arkadelphia. And suddenly it looks like Gosnell might be in a position to put some points on the board with 8:10 left. And the clock will stop because of the penalty. I can't imagine what this is going to be other than a push out of bounds. It is going to be a personal foul against Arkadelphia. I mean, Jones is hard to tackle. Somebody rode him a little too long as he stepped out of bounds, so they're going to push it back against Arkadelphia. Now, the Arkadelphia defense, they've already won this game with a great performance, but they don't want to give up a touchdown. They got a shutout going, so we'll see if they can fight back here against a Gosnell offense that is moving the ball right now down to the 13-yard line of the Badgers.
And Arkadelphia has done it multiple times in this game and let Gosnell get in the red zone and then stopping this offense from getting in the end zone.
They're going to pitch it and try to go wide one more time. He's going to cut to the corner inside the 10, and he'll step out of bounds at the 8-yard line. And this time there is a flag down, and the flag went down at the 5-yard line. Let's see what this might be. There was not a tackle. He just simply ran out of bounds, so that's not the call this time. Let's see what it could be. It looks like this time it's going to be a holding call against Gosnell. My goodness, they have shot themselves in the foot more than once tonight.
Getting in a good position here to score, and now they're moving themselves back into a first and 15 situation now, which, putting them behind the chains with the kind of offense they run and the way their passing game's been going tonight, that's not a good situation to be in.
First down 15, still in that same running formation. They'll run the option. They're going to run it wide. Here's Jones. He's looking for space. He's going to be knocked out of bounds, and this time they'll try to hold him up, but he still goes down. No flag, though. Fair tackle. Gain of 1, maybe 2 on the play, and the clock will continue to run. We're in the mercy rule. 37-0 Arkadelphia. Gosnell trying to get on the board. 6:35 left.
Yeah, this Badger defense is just trying to keep that shutout. No, it's not the most important thing in the grand scheme of things, but for this defense as a whole, they want to keep another shutout, keep it 2 games running after the shutout last week against Malvern. Guys are definitely going to try and want to keep that going again this week.
Barbary at quarterback lines up, halfbacks to his left and right, fullback right behind him. They want to run again. They'll cut it up the middle this time. There's a good tackle, and he might have gotten 1 yard. It's 3rd down and long. They'll need about 13 more.
Really an excellent tackle on the play. Trying to get a number there. I think it might have been Sammy Hawthorne. No, it was number 6. That was a freshman on the play there. That was Jay-Sean 51, excuse me. Sorry, we're getting numbers here in the box, and 51 on the stop. So it's Chandler Langstaff, a senior, making the tackle. You thought you called out Jay-Sean Davis, the freshman. I said that's a big stop from the freshman, but the senior defensive lineman making the tackle there, and really good stop on the interior.
3rd down and long. Will they throw the ball? No, they're going to run it. Fullback trap up the middle. He's got some yardage inside the 10. That's not enough for a 1st down. 4th down coming. Nice trap play that time. And on the carry for Gosnell was its fullback, who's not carried the ball many times tonight, but a hole was there for Middleton, and he got yardage inside the 10. They're going to spot the ball at about the 8-yard line. It will be 4th down and between 4 and 5. They haven't spotted the ball yet because an Arkadelphia Badger is down. And so we're going to take a break. We've got a break in the action momentarily. And so we'll tell you that the score is Arkadelphia 37, Gosnell 0. 5:01 left in the contest. We'll be back on KDEL in 30 seconds. And we're right back here on the live stream. Stay tuned now for the post-game show after we are finished with this Arkadelphia victory. 5 minutes left on the clock. We're going to bring you a post-game show that will feature a conversation with J.R. Eldridge, Arkadelphia head coach. Going to feature stats from Jim Rothwell, commentary from Chris Babb, as well as Jack Bennington and Caleb Bird. That'll come after this injury is checked out. There have been a lot of large piles of bodies as they love to run right up the middle, and they put a lot of people in the box, and so the defense puts a lot of people in the box. There are a lot of heavy collisions and a lot of piles of bodies, and Arkadelphia had an injury on the play, but the good news is that he is up, and he is going to walk off the field under his own power. So looks like everybody's going to be okay. That's great news. We'll see a substitution coming in on the defensive line for a very important 4th down play. Very important not from the standpoint of who's going to win this game because Arkadelphia leads at 37-0, but important because Arkadelphia is trying to preserve a shutout, and Gosnell's trying to at least get on the board here in their playoff appearance in 2018. To the line of scrimmage, Gosnell comes. Ball near the 8-yard line, 4th down. They need between 5 and 6 yards. On 4th down, they'll send a man in motion. They'll hand it to him. Coming around the side is Young. He's looking for him. He's not going to get it. That is not a 1st down. Arkadelphia takes over at its own 7.
This red zone defense from the Badgers has just been stellar tonight. Once again, the running back for Gosnell runs to the right side and tries to get to the edge, but there's just nothing there. This Badger defense is just so quick off the ball and is able to stop him from getting any room whatsoever on the outside, forcing him out of bounds. And the Badgers are going to take over once again inside the 10-yard line, but still 4 minutes left in this contest. And I'm sure these Badgers are glad that once again they were to stop Gosnell from getting in the end zone.
And that was Kadarius Young, who is their outstanding running back, but he just ran out of real estate over there. He couldn't get around the defense, and they drove him out of bounds. Didn't get close to a 1st down. So Arkadelphia takes over at its own 7-yard line, 1st down and 10. Badgers are going to line up offensively with Braden Thomas at quarterback. Only a sophomore. He's a starting receiver and backup quarterback. He'll take it. He'll hand it off. Here is a running play. Some yardage up the middle. A fumble at the end of the play, but then falling on it is the running back who made the carry. This is a good young running back. On the carry for Arkadelphia was Keelan Nelson.
Yeah, really nice run there. Downhill running from Nelson and able to get out from underneath the shot of the goal line and pick up that 1st down.
Arkadelphia has a good quarterback in Thomas. He is the backup. Thomas is really an outstanding athlete. He's a very fine receiver for the first-team offense and an excellent quarterback. Nelson stands to his left. And he will hand off this time and coming wide on the play and not getting much down at the 16-yard line on the end around was Deion Hunter.
Yeah, Dion, the senior, just trying to get to the left side, and then Gosnell did a great job of getting through this offensive line and cutting off that end run. Was able to bring him down for a short loss, but still good play design and good effort there from the senior wide receiver.
Hunter, one of a long line from the Hunter family that's played football for the Arkadelphia Badgers, scored a touchdown last week. That time, no hold there, and he couldn't get yardage. On second down and long, Arkadelphia will take a long look at the sideline before coming back to the line of scrimmage, just letting the clock run a bit. We're under 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in this football game. 37-0, Arkadelphia leading Gosnell. Badgers headed to Warren next week for the second round of the playoffs. Here's a handoff. Looking for room now. Nice cut up the middle and a hard tackle, but still a gain up to the 20, maybe 21-yard line. These two teams are still fighting hard and hitting each other hard late in this ballgame.
Yeah, good run once again from Nelson. And Nelson wasn't the running back at the end of the game last week against Malvern. Last week, I think it was
Kalen Jones.
Kalen Jones, yeah, as the running back. Did a really nice job, did Jones last week. And now another sophomore, Nelson, getting some carries at running back. So a lot of good young players on the field for Arkadelphia.
Some of the first-teamers really doing a very fine dance here on the sideline. This is not just ad-lib dancing. This is rehearsed. This is quite impressive. Dancing to the bands playing. Here's a run on third down. It will not make a first down, so Arkadelphia has a punting situation, but only 1:14 left in the game. Arkadelphia leads at 37-0. Otherwise, you would not see dancing on the sideline.
If you did, there would be some issues with the coaching staff. But
let me just say, out of all of those guys, and they're excellent dancing.
And they all have to sprint to the sideline, grab their helmets.
They didn't realize that the punt team's headed out there. The dance has stopped. The dance has stopped, and now they got their helmets back, and they're headed back out on the field. They averted getting into some big trouble there.
Gosh.
I have to say, the best dancer I saw down there was Ricky Rogers Jr. His dad would be proud of him for that. I don't know if his dad was a dancer or not. Here's a nice kick. Very nice kick from Goodman. It's allowed to bounce. It hits at the 40. It's rolling past the 30 to the 25, 24-yard line. Beautiful kick. Good result from that kick from Gabe Goodman.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the ball game right there on the punt. Arkadelphia's lining up around midfield. The clock's down within 15 seconds, and might shake hands and call us a game.
Arkadelphia is showing a lot of excitement right now. They have a will to win, and that game next week is just going to be fantastic. It has set up well. Arkadelphia is going to be on the road at Warren, a rematch of the state championship game, won, of course, last year by Arkadelphia. It's going to be a lot of fun next week. It was a lot of fun tonight as Arkadelphia beat both the Cold Weather and the Gosnell Pirates. The final score was 37-0. The two teams are meeting at the 50-yard line to greet each other. Gosnell's season has wrapped up, and Arkadelphia is headed to the second round of the playoffs. We'll be back with more on KDEL FM 100.9 in 2 minutes. And on the live stream, we are right back with you now. The Arkadelphia Badgers came up with a big win tonight. Arkadelphia was favored in this game, and yet it wasn't just a win. It was a mercy rule win of 37-0. Now, down on the sideline, we are going to be getting a conversation with J.R. Eldridge here in just a few minutes from Caleb Bird. Jack Bennington has stayed in the box with us, and he'll have a conversation. And joining us on the air is going to be Jim Rothwell, who will have a full statistical report here in just a couple of moments. We'll let our radio audience get back with us before that. Gosnell has a lot to be proud of this season. They struggled through a middle of the season where they lost a couple of games that they had hoped to win, but then they fought back for 4 straight victories and then will fall in the playoffs to a very hot Arkadelphia team. The Badgers have now won 6 consecutive games, and Jack, the Badgers are one dangerous team. The defending state champion was not dead at 0-5. Now they're 6-5. They won 6 in a row.
Yeah, 6 wins in a row. Definitely a complete turnaround from this Badgers team. We say this every week after every big win. Really a tale of 2 seasons for this year for the Badgers. Starting at 0-5 and then winning 6 in a row. Now going into the second round of the playoffs, still as the 3 seed. I'm going to have to go on the road next week. But this Badgers team is completely different from the start of the season. Obviously playing much tougher teams to begin the season, but nonetheless, this team has just been absolutely outstanding. No matter who the team they've played, going up against the number 3 team as well in Gosnell tonight, and was able to pick up a very, very good win. Both the offense and the defense did a great job tonight, and they were able to pick up another Mercy Rule win at home in the last game at Badger Stadium this year.
Jack, in this nice string of 6 consecutive wins, I'll tell you what, I've seen the team gain confidence and really gain enthusiasm. Really exciting to watch this through their streak. I think the win over Bauxite has to be a huge key because Bauxite was undefeated, a first-place team coming into the game. Arkadelphia got the win by more than one score, a 2-possession game in that win. And then, of course, this win in the playoffs is meaningful also. Gosnell, really a good program. They are often in the playoffs and play well throughout each of their seasons. They have a strong program, but Arkadelphia was able to overcome them tonight, not just because they had more depth and were able to win the second half, but because they dominated the first half.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that if the Badgers hadn't beat Bauxite, we'd probably be in Truman right now covering that game. But the Badgers were able to pick up that win and able to pick up another big win tonight against Gosnell. Huge victory really for the Badgers. I mean, coming in tonight, they were an 8-point favorite, I believe, predicted by Hootens.com, and they were able to really show that they do not deserve to be a 5-5 team. We kind of talked about that in the pregame a little bit. This team's record does not show the talent being a top 10 team in the state with the record that they have. Just an outstanding job that they were able to do tonight. And this team just keeps getting better and better.
Arkadelphia 6-5 on the year, 6-game winning streak, and they were 5-2 in conference play, a number 3 seed. Now Gosnell was also a number 3 seed, also came in at 5-2 in their conference, but Arkadelphia has mercy ruled Gosnell tonight, 37-0. So the number 3 seed from the conference has mercy ruled their opponent. The number 4 seed from the conference, Bauxite, also got a win tonight, and so. We do expect wins from Nashville, and Robinson has already mercy ruled their opponent. So 4 teams from the conference will be winners tonight, and Fountain Lake was only a touchdown behind in their game. So the conference is really showing a tremendous amount of strength here in the first round of the playoffs. We're going to have a conversation with J.R. Eldridge in just a moment. We'll also have stats coming from Jim Rothwell. Let's see if we can go down to the sideline for a conversation with J.R. Eldridge?
I don't know if Jack's back yet. So
Jack is going to go down to the sideline for that. Okay, Jack is headed down to the sideline for that interview. And so I guess we will hang on for that after the stat report. Let's go to Jim Rothwell.
All right, Jeff. Again, we saw the play percentage, yards per play for Arkadelphia just come into play. They finished with the run with plays, both rushing and passing, not counting penalties, of about 9.6 yards per play. And again, Gosnell Bay held to about 2.8 yards per play, under 3 yards. Again, time of possession, certainly with the Pirates, but the Badgers made the big plays, and that's what they tend to do. And again, the defense for Arkadelphia played great again. 122 yards on 49 carries for a strong rushing team. Less than 2.5 yards a carry. You're not going to keep the ball because you're not even getting 3 yards average carry when you are a strong running team. They did have a couple big plays in the passing game, 2 out of 8 for 38 yards for the Pirates. Arkadelphia had a couple of big plays in the passing game as well, particularly the long pass to Rubel from Thomas. So he was 1 out of 1 for the long pass, 65 yards. Turner was 4 out of 9 for 79 yards, but Turner had a big night running as well. 108 yards on 8 carries, 13.5 yards a carry for Turner tonight. Good job. And then Halley ended up with those 65 yards on 12 carries for 542. Had 1 touchdown of about, I think it was about 10 yards out, call back, and then again another one. I think he could have run forever on that one where he ran the sweep and scored. So, again, when he ran, a lot of times it was the end zone, so you don't get extra yard for running on through the end zone. But, again, to me, the key thing is that defense. They're just dominating against the running game. And we've seen this kind of offense several times, Fountain Lake, Bauxite. Other teams have run that. Haskell Harmony Grove runs this time. And it's been the same result every time. The defense just swarms to the ball. They may make a mistake on a trap and somebody pick up a big play, but generally if they can stop him from scoring. We saw Tadamy run down the box site runner the other night, kept him from scoring there right before halftime. Big play. And again, so we see strong defense, and a lot of it is because of a defensive backs for Arkadelphia. They can match up one-on-one, man-on-man, and that turns the linebackers loose, that turns the defensive ends loose to pursue the ball, to attack when their teams rush. And they did a good job tonight of staying at home, not chasing after it. Everybody, the ball in the middle of the field, when they ran it in the middle on just a straight handoff, there was nothing there. I no telling how many 0 or 1 or 2 yard plays that the Pirates had tonight.
The Pirates depend on excellent execution. They depend on running plays that they have practiced over and over again, including misdirection, counter plays, trap plays. They tried all of that. Nothing really worked against Arkadelphia tonight because everybody knew their assignment and everybody played it well, and they have strong players at every defensive position.
That's true. What was interesting with the Pirates is you've got a quarterback with 6'3", 240, and I think he carried the ball 5 times for a minus 13 yards. When you're depending on the running game and you've got someone in the backfield that's 6'3", 240 pounds, I'd get him the ball more than 5 times. But, again, that worked to Arkadelphia's advantage. They've had trouble sometimes to get some big, strong power running back. And so I thought that was the key, that maybe the Pirates didn't take advantage of some skill that they had, particularly at the quarterback.
Jim, it also seems important to me that the team is basically healthy. So, you always have a few injuries, but at this time of the year, to not have injuries piling up, but to have all of your key offensive weapons healthy, to see Thomas growing into the player that he is growing into at the same time that Hatley is healthy and playing well. Cannon Turner's playing fantastic. This is a very dangerous offense.
It is. It's sort of what we anticipated at the beginning, all the weapons there with Thomas, adding the versatility, throwing the ball for a long play tonight, a couple of good runs. Had one pass he dropped, but he was open in the middle of the field. Again, you've seen Hatley sort of begin to hit some strides here, and then, of course, Turner's been consistent all season. Again, you've got the other weapons. Rubel made a couple of big plays tonight. We didn't see Witten tonight, but in the past he has. And, of course, you've got Javonte Brown out there, too. Tadamy used him as a deep threat a couple of times to at least loosen them up, particularly right before halftime, trying to get a score right then. So we've got a lot of weapons that they can use on offense. And we're seeing the offensive line do a much better job tonight.
Oh, they have grown by leaps and bounds. They really have. They've learned some tough lessons early in the season, and they've worked it to their advantage. This is an offensive line that now looks like a veteran group.
It really does. But one disappointment for Arkadelphia tonight was the penalties. I think they ended up with over 100 yards in penalties, but 3 of them came on pass interferences that are 15 yards, so you've got 45 yards just right there, and a couple of personal fouls. We've got to eliminate those. You can't have 100 yards in penalties against Warren. You can't give Warren those extra 100 yards.
The pass interference, close calls. The at least 1 or 2 of the personal fouls were tackles that were maybe just a step out of bounds and just a little bit of overzealous approach there by a couple of defenders, but nothing too bad. I mean, everybody hustling, working very, very hard. I've got one score update for you that was just handed me. We'll give you a score update for everybody in the conference in a moment, but here's a game of interest. Helena, West Helena, and Pea Ridge playing in Pea Ridge tonight. What a long drive that is for Helena. That score is 0-0 with 1 minute left in regulation. Unbelievable. I don't know if there's a blizzard up in Pea Ridge or what's going on, but it's 0-0. Helena, West Helena, and Pea Ridge with 1 minute left in what appears now to be regulation instead of the game. 0-0 between those two teams. Helena, West Helena, of course, upset Warren. And we know broadcaster Andrew Bagley is one excited guy right now that his team might be able to pull off an upset in the playoffs as well. Well, we're going to take a break for our radio, and when we come back, we'll wrap up the post-game show with players of the game and an interview with J.R. Eldridge. We'll be back on KDEL in 2 minutes. And for the live stream, we are right back with you now, and we're going to bring you that scoreboard and some final comments as our players of the game and so forth when we get the radio audience back. I want to say thank you to our sponsors again for the live stream tonight. Roger Wingfield State Farm Insurance, Taylor King Law, Southwest Sporting Goods, Turner Rogers Manning and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Eddie Arnold of Jostens, and also Twin Rivers Health and Rehabilitation, Marion Martha's Florist and Gifts, Southern Bank Corps, Arnold Batson Turner and Turner, Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, and Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker. They are our sponsors tonight and all season long on the video live stream that we've had an opportunity to bring to you tonight. Chris Babb engineering that for us, doing a super job as usual, our halftime guest also, and we'll talk to Chris before this ball game, or before our postgame show is over. Once again, the final score here from Badger Stadium was Arkadelphia 37 and Gosnell nothing. A big first-round victory for the Arkadelphia Badgers. Let's talk to Chris for a moment. We have the radio audience back in just a minute, then we'll do players of the game. Chris, let's talk about the fact that the Arkadelphia Badgers have just run to 6 wins in a row. They look like a very confident team. What a matchup next week, but Arkadelphia, I think, is not going to back away at all from a rematch with Warren. They're anxious to play this game.
Yeah, that'll be the game of the week in 4A, if not because of the records and the seeding, because of the past history, last year's state title rematch. You have a lot of potential deep playoff rematches early next week. In 4A, obviously, it's Arkadelphia and Warren. In 5A, there's a potential Little Rock McClellan Pulaski Academy rematch in the second round. So, but back to Arkadelphia, yeah, it'll be an exciting Friday night. There'll be much preparation among both those coaching staffs, the quality coaching staffs on both of those schools. It'll be an interesting and fun week of preparation for those teams. And the next Friday night, a week from tonight, the Friday before Thanksgiving, the Badgers and their fans will head to Jim Hurley Stadium in Warren, and a tough place to play and take on the Warren Lumberjacks.
I tell you what, Chris, one thing that we've seen is that you don't have to wait until late in the playoffs to get competitive, really strong football games. Now, this was a mercy rule tonight. Robinson had a mercy rule game. Warren had a mercy rule game. But Arkadelphia's conference, the 7-4A, 4 winners tonight, it looks like. Bauxite, a number 4 seed. There is some real football to be played in the first round, and we saw that with the Bauxite win tonight.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. Bauxite beat Truman 21-6. Last I heard, Nashville was up on Elkins 30-0. You mentioned Robinson and Arkadelphia, and Fountain Lake gave Rivercrest a good match for a half or maybe into the third quarter. But it's a tough conference. But you're not playing against your top. It doesn't matter how tough your conference is. You run up against one team from another conference is good, and that's what the Arkadelphia is going to do next week at Warren.
Now, if there were a few good matchups in the first round, as you said, there are going to be a lot in the second round, and I can't imagine a better matchup in a second-round game than Warren and Arkadelphia.
No, there's an interesting, though, in the other, I guess the top half of Arkadelphia's bracket, Stuttgart and Dardanelle face each other next week. Josh Price, the head coach of Stuttgart, came from Dardanelle, so that's an interesting matchup. Obviously, you have the Arkadelphia Warren matchup, and that's the bracket off the top of my head that I remember just because of looking at the bracket. But those are a couple of good, interesting matchups there.
The last thing we're going to do is look past the Warren game, but you do look at the other part of the bracket and you see Stuttgart, another team that would like some revenge against Arkadelphia, because in that matchup, Arkadelphia dominated the series between those teams in the regular season non-conference schedule.
Yeah, and this is a senior class at Stuttgart that is really a quality team. Stuttgart and Warren. Of course, those pods are on a crash course to play each other. Either Stuttgart, Warren, Arkadelphia, someone could play each other in that. That's one of those games early in the season that got canceled because of weather. And so Stuttgart and Warren squared off against each other in non-conference games, but the game wasn't finished. I believe Warren might have been up 9-0 or something there in the second quarter, and they couldn't finish the game. So, Warren would like to get to Stuttgart. Stuttgart would like to get either one of these teams. But before that, Stuttgart has to beat Dardanelle, and the Arkadelphia-Warren game will be set then.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let us pause, and we will have a conversation now as Jack Bennington is going to have a conversation with Arkadelphia's victorious head coach, J.R. Eldridge.
Joined by Coach J.R. Coach, able to pull up a 37-0 win tonight, mercy rule victory in the first round of the playoffs. Your team did pretty well.
Yeah, really excited about the way our team played. Felt like we were able to just dominate the football game. We had some errors that gave us some adverse situations, but every time, the other phase of the game was able to step up and make a play that helped us to get on the right track.
We we kind of talk about this every week, but the defense, man, every single week this team is able to step on both sides of the ball, but on the defensive end, especially tonight, the team showed up and was able to get another shutout for the Badgers.
Yeah, our defense was put in some bad situations, and they just rose up, made plays, a huge momentum swing when Kai was able to get the ball into the end zone after the forced fumble. That was a huge swing of momentum for the game, and then we were able just to continue to do that, and our defense just continued to make plays like that.
And we heard on air Steve Patterson say that it's your birthday, so congratulations on the win, and more than anything else, happy birthday, Coach.
Best birthday present I can have.
Awesome, thank you so much, Coach.
All right. J.R. Eldridge having a birthday along with Gabe Goodman today. Well, they share a birthday. They've both got their birthday presents in the form of a win by Arkadelphia, 37-0 over Gosnell. Let's talk about offensive players of the game. Caleb Bird, a lot of people you could nominate. Who are you going to go with?
Well, I think the choice a lot of people would look at for this game would be Cannon Turner because, he's always has a good game. He plays well every week, and he's a very visible player. Quarterback had a lot of good runs, a number of good throws tonight, but I'm going to change it up this week. I'm going to give my offensive player of the game to Alec Rubel. Rubel had 2 touchdowns tonight. He had a long completion on the throw from Thomas on the fake run throw play. Long reception there. And he also blocked really well from the fullback position. So 2 touchdowns, a really nice completion from Rubel, and some good blocking. He's going to get the offensive player of the game from me.
I like that a lot because Rubel's one of those unsung heroes. He is a guy that is going to block and block and block. If you never hand him the ball, if you never throw him the ball, he still is going to do everything he can do to accomplish his mission and get a win for Arkadelphia. Tonight, he was the target. He came up big with catches, including a touchdown catch, and including, of course, that big play that you mentioned, another touchdown on a running play when he checked in at fullback. So, Alec Rubel, I'll agree with you. Great call for the offensive player of the game. Nothing to take away from Cannon Turner, and another huge game for the junior quarterback. Just excellent. At one point, really taking over the game in the second quarter. Excellent running and passing from Turner, but Rubel gets the player of the game. Let's see if Jack, who's back from the field, can agree with us. Jack?
Yeah.
Alec Rubel?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that Caleb wouldn't say it so I could be the one to, introduce that. But Alec Rubel definitely, I have to give him my offensive player of the game. Hate to, not give it to Cannon Turner, but just the game that Alec Rubel has every single week in his blocking sense and just like his football mind that he has in blocking downfield. Tonight was able to add to that with the completions that he had, the touchdown run at the end of the game. 2 touchdowns for Rubel tonight, like I mentioned earlier, his 3rd of the season. So huge for the senior receiver, doing an outstanding job. So I'd have to give him my offensive player of the game.
So we all agree the offensive player of the game is Alec Rubel. What about a defensive player of the game, Caleb?
That's where it gets a little bit more fishy because, this defense always has so many players running to the football. Gang tackling on defense is kind of hard to, get numbers in there because they're all playing so well out there. But I think I had to give it to Kai Harrison. Harrison had a really good season, as have all the linebackers for the Badgers. Josh Wallace as well. They've both had really good seasons, and Cole Turner as well at linebacker. All 3 of them have played really well this year. But Kai, Coach Eldridge mentioned it down the field. He turned the game on its head and really gave all the momentum in the game. Arkadelphia with his fumble recovery for a touchdown, and he had multiple big tackles. It was always seeming to be in the backfield making plays. So I'm going to give my defensive player of the game to Kai Harrison.
The defensive lineman played well, allowing those linebackers to really pile in and make a lot of tackles. The secondary played well when there was an attempt at passing, a couple of pass interference calls, but no long completions. So Arkadelphia played well throughout the defense, as you said, but when you turn the ball over and turn it into a defensive touchdown, you have done something that really changes a game. And it did come early enough in the game. It was a game changer for Arkadelphia to get that second touchdown from its defense. And so I'll agree with you with Kyron Harrison being our call for defensive player of the game. Jack, what's your call?
Yeah, he kind of took the words out of my mouth. I mean, it's kind of hard to go away from a guy who kind of in the same way as Rubel kind of turns the game on his head just by being out there, the presence he brings on the defensive side of the football. Such a hard hitter. And that time at the beginning of the first half, able to get the strip and able to pick it up and run it into the end zone for the Badgers' second touchdown of the night. Just kind of quick action like that. Kind of stun Gosnell there, able to pick up the second touchdown very quickly. Kai Harrison did a great job tonight, happened to be my defensive player of the game. But honorable mention, though, to Cannon Turner, having the interception there
That's true.
Earlier in the game tonight as well. So
Yeah,
Kai Harrison, but Cannon Turner, honorable mention.
That's a good call. That was an interception in the end zone that prevented a touchdown, so
Right
that was a
before the
big
half
play.
as well.
Big play by Cannon Turner for sure. All right, so our defensive player of the game, lots of people are honorable for this, but we're going to name our player of the game as Harrison and our offensive player of the game as Rubel. Now, let's go to final comments. And, Jack, this is a team that is improving, is exciting. Give us your final comments before the rematch against Warren next week.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I talked about it earlier in the post-game show, but this team really is just completely different from what we've seen at the beginning of the season. If we starting the season 0-5, we like to say we expected to be where we are now, but I don't know if everyone else thought the same thing. Badgers now winning 6 in a row, just doing an outstanding job. The coaches, really just their patience with the team, able to come from where they were to where we are now. Defending state champions, I think really the coaches and I would say most of the players, if not all the players, knew that they had the talent and they had the ability to come back to be where they are right now. So now the big thing going into next week against Warren. Last time that Arkadelphia played Warren in the state championship game that everyone knows about, but the last time that Arkadelphia went to Warren, I want to say, I guess 4 or 5 years ago, 2013, so 5 years ago. So a big matchup there. Arkadelphia was not able to pick up the win that time, but I'm sure Warren has some revenge that they have, but I think the Badgers have some as well.
All right, wrap it up for us, Caleb. This is a team that's exciting to watch. They have that same look as that state championship team of just last year.
Yeah, this defense has come out. They've proven the last few weeks they can stop this run-heavy team. But next week, they're going to have to come out and stop the pass against Warren. Traylon Burks, star player of that state championship game last year, he's not going to be playing tomorrow night. Next week, he'll be injured. So you're going to have to see a much more well-rounded Warren team and a team that has a lot of other guys stepping up. They have another Arkansas committed on the team, defensive lineman committed to Arkansas. So a lot of good athletes on that team. It's not just a Traylon Burks show, and the other guys are going to have to step up. And I think they have a bone to pick with Arkadelphia. I think they believe they should have won the state championship last year, and they're going to be looking for revenge. And Arkadelphia is ready to play Warren as well to prove it wasn't a fluke, and Arkadelphia has the better team.
Both teams are ready. It's going to be a lot of fun. I want to say thank you to our sponsors for the live stream tonight: Roger Wingfield, State Farm Insurance, Taylor King Law, Southwest Sporting Goods, Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Eddie Arnold of Jostens, and also Twin Rivers Health and Rehabilitation, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Southern Bancorp, Arnold Batson, Turner & Turner, Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, and Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker. I want to say thank you to Jim Rothwell, to Chris Babb, to Jack Bennington and Caleb Bird, also to Molly Wallace for giving Caleb some cold medicine so he could be on the air with us tonight. We appreciate you, Molly, with that assist. This has been a lot of fun. Arkadelphia in the first round of playoffs, a victor tonight. 37 for Arkadelphia, 0 for Gosnell, and the Badgers are headed to round 2 at Warren next week. We'll be there, and we'll bring you this live stream and radio broadcast on KDEL FM 100.9. This is Jeff Root. Good night, everybody. And Abby, Daddy's on his way home.